On day 1, I spawned in as a baby spider monkey.
Ooh, ah! Spider!
I may not have 8 legs, but I did have 8 hearts. I was looking at the beautiful glow shrooms around me when a crimson portal opened up and out stepped a powerful wizard.
I, the Supreme Court, do decree that you are in violation of the laws of this overworld. Your punishment will be sudden and merciless.
Wait, I just got here. There must be some sort of misunderstanding.
The Supreme Court makes no mistakes. Prepare for death by Snow Leopard.
The Supreme Court stepped back through his portal and vanished. Huh? What did he mean by... Whoa, is that a snow leopard? Before I even knew why, I was being chased across the Glowshroom Bayou by a ravenous snow leopard.
Get back here, you criminal scum! In the name of the Supreme Court, I shall punish you.
Oh yeah? What if I ran into this area of slightly more clustered trees?
Stop! Don't! I would never be able to find you in there.
But I didn't listen to the snow leopard that was trying to get me. I ran into the trees and hid myself away. The snow leopard searched for a little bit, but then gave up and ran away. I decided to spend my first night safe in one of the trees. I got lucky today, but as long as the Supreme Court thinks I've broken his rules, a deadly fate will await me. I need to find out what the laws are around here, and fast. On day 2, I said hello to a brand new biome known as the Forest Fault. There were plenty of trees to punch for wood, and when there's wood, there's everything I need to craft a wooden pickaxe, and where there's a wooden pickaxe, there's everything I need to mine some stone, and where there's stone, well, you get it. I can make myself stone tools now. Those stone tools were a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. You just can't beat the classics. Aside from the wood and stone, the Forest Fault had plenty of bananas for me to eat. It's a banana bonanza. After getting a taste of those sweet, sweet bananas, I decided to build a super duper spider monkey base right here in the Forest Fault. I began with a strong wooden foundation and then built the walls up from there. Just as I started working on the inside, the same snow leopard from yesterday showed up right outside my base.
Hey, you! Spider monkey! It's punishment time. So says the Supreme Court.
Thinking quickly, I devised a genius misdirection. What? I'm not a spider monkey. I'm a scorpion monkey. I've never seen a spider.
My mistake. Please return to your building, Mr. Scorpion Monkey.
The snow leopard loped away, and for now, I was safe. But that definitely wouldn't work a second time, so I committed to furnishing a nice interior to at least feel cozier in case the snow leopard came back. On day 3, I went to the flowering ancient forest to gather all the coolest ancient materials for my spider monkey base. You know, there sure is a lot of trackless wilderness around for an overworld ruled by a Supreme Court, whatever a Gort is anyway. While I reflected on the absurdity of my life, I was attacked by a mummified mob with a nasty sword. He hit me once and took away 4 hearts. Ow! What was that for?
You and the spider monkey, this flowering ancient forest belongs to me, the Desert Lord.
Huh? That doesn't make any sense. Shouldn't you be in charge of a desert somewhere?
I am in charge of a desert, but it's more like a metaphorical desert. Desert of the real. Know what I mean?
I couldn't possibly hope to.
And for that, you must perish.
The Desert Lord came at me with his blade. I knew that one more attack would spell my doom, so I tried to run. Oh no, I'm not fast enough. He'll catch me. Just then, another figure stood in the way of the Desert Lord and blocked his attacks, taking no damage whatsoever.
Still picking on the weak, I see. You disgust me, Desert Lord.
Yeah, well, you're not the Lord of anything, Amadeus.
Wow, that was lame. Go home already.
The Desert Lord left, seemingly embarrassed by how lame his own comeback was. Once he was gone, the new guy turned to me and said,
I am Amadeus the Armorer. Allow me to travel with you, puny spider monkey. I will give you what you need to defend yourself.
Why does everyone keep calling me puny? But okay, sure. I left the flowering ancient forest and let Amadeus come with me. From day 4 to day 5, I returned to my base and built a specialized workshop for Amadeus the Armorer.
Rightio, little Zozo. Now, as for what I promised, it's going to take a little bit of time, but I've got all the materials right here.
It's Zozo, actually.
Well, I am an armorer, so take a wild guess.
What do you plan on crafting? Is it armor?
You'll see soon enough, but for now, you must be patient.
I waited it out as Amadeus crafted the mysterious item that would help me protect myself. While I was outside, the Supreme Gort Snow Leopard showed up again, and it seems like he meant business.
Freeze, criminal scum! I'm here to eat you up!
No, please! I still don't know what law I broke.
What? No, not you! I'm talking about the illegal armor that is being harbored inside your base.
Do you mean Amadeus? But he's a good guy.
That armorer is a criminal, and criminals get fed to me.
I ran back inside the base to warn Amadeus, who had just finished up the specialty item.
Equip this, Zozo. It'll help you face the snow leopard.
I did as Amadeus said, and equipped the armor. It was a Titan's Shroud chestplate, no doubt one of the most illegal armors in existence. I went back outside and drew my stone sword to frighten off the snow leopard. Hey, get out of here. Go on, get out of here.
No can do, ruffian. I'll devour you, along with that contraband armor you're wearing.
The snow leopard charged at me, and I had no choice but to defend myself. I managed to scare off the leopard, living to fight another day. But what was I going to do now? I was officially a criminal, and my only friend Amadeus was also a lawbreaker. This is gonna be one tough adventure. From day 6 to day 8, I decided to begin indulging in my criminal lifestyle by rustling some sheep. I don't even know if this is a real crime, but in any case, I'm gonna do it anyway. Sometimes, when you're persecuted on trumped up charges, it just leaves you with nothing to lose. Just like the Supreme Gort was about to lose his sheep. Or at least I assume they're his. I lured the sheep back to my forest vault base. Here, I could shear them and use their wool to make t-shirts with subversive messages. Yeah, that'll show him.
You'll show me nothing, you worthless little rapscallion!
I turned and saw that the Supreme Gort had appeared behind me. He was carrying a terrifying new sword.
Do you like my new legally obtained weapon, Zozo? It's called the Gort Sword. I stole it from someone I had executed.
Wait, how can it be legally obtained and stolen?
Simple. When the Supreme Gort does it, it's not illegal.
That's not fair.
Correct, but it is legal. So say I, the Supreme Gort.
We started fighting after that, and with his crimson sword, he was truly formidable. I was fast and furious. I got a decisive hit on him, destroying the Supreme Gort. Oh my goodness, did I just defeat the big bad guy? This has got to be a personal best for me.
More like a personal worst, criminal.
I turned and saw that the Supreme Gort was standing right behind me. That's impossible. I just defeated you.
There's still so much that you don't know, Zozo.
Terrified that my greatest foe had come back from the dead, all I could do was turn and run. From day 9 to day 10, I laid low at my base with Amadeus the Armorer. I didn't tell him about the freakiness of the Gort's revival, but I was having second thoughts about the criminal life. Being hunted for a crime is bad enough, especially one I didn't do.
Think of it this way, Zozo. If the rules are so unfair that only one person benefits, breaking them by accident is a consequence of those same rules.
That's very reassuring, Amadeus.
I'm here to defend you when you can't defend yourself, little buddy. And also, to build things. Check it out.
Amadeus showed me pieces of the statue he was working on, and it made me feel a lot better about how things were going. Can you tell what the statue is going to be?
If you think that's impressive, wait until you see the rest of my handiwork.
Sure enough, the entire base had been upgraded, thanks to Amadeus the Armorer's hard work and diligence. A training room for me to practice my self-defense moves. There was now a storage room for armor and other equipment, and a furnace room in case the life of a cold-hearted criminal ever becomes too chilly. Wow. For a career rule breaker, Amadeus sure is reliable. I think I trust him enough to tell him about the Supreme Gort being able to come back to life. From day 11 to day 12, I told Amadeus about the Supreme Gort coming back to life. He seemed overall really calm about it, as if he knew something I didn't. I, however, was still losing my marbles. How can a guy just respond like that? Isn't it cheating the very rules of the overworld?
The Supreme Gort has access to many abilities that we might find unnatural, and that includes the fact that he has 9 lives.
9 lives? What is he? A cat?
Actually, he was once 9 separate Gorts that combined to form a single Supreme Gort. You have to defeat him 9 times for it to stick.
That sounds like a whole lot of work.
Sure does, which is why most people never even try it. Most of us who have been sentenced to execution have decided to live our lives on the run. Or, you know, in stationary hideouts, but the principle stands.
How many times has the Gort been thwarted before?
That's the neat thing, little buddy. I have no idea. If somebody's keeping track of it, it's probably someone a lot closer to the Supreme Gort than we are.
Darn. You Gort to be kidding me. I guess I'll have to hold off on fighting the Supreme Gort until I know more about his 9 lives and how many he has left. From day 13 to day 15, I went back to the flowering ancient forest to see if I could get any information out of the Desert Lord. He's another strong guy with a noble title of ambiguous importance. Surely he must know something about the Supreme Gort. It didn't take long for the Desert Lord to discover me in his territory. He came up to me with that powerful blade, but this time I was wearing my Titan Shroud chestplate, so I was a little bit less worried about my heart.
You dare to return to my desert without permission? I will smite thee with my sand sword.
No smiting will be necessary. I'm only here to see if you know anything about the Supreme Gort. He sorta has it out for me, and I'm looking for a way to defeat him. A look of fear suddenly crossed the Desert Lord's face.
Not the Supreme Gort. He's the most powerful Gort in the entire overworld. And what he says goes no matter what. Even my desert isn't safe from his laws.
Okay, I take all that to mean that you don't have any idea on how to defeat him?
I do not. And the fact that you thought you could waltz into my desert and demand such a crazy request from me is enough to make me want to destroy you. In fact, I think I will.
If you insist, I won't run away this time. I can defend myself now. We fought, and I was really impressed by how well my armor managed to do against his attacks. With my own stone sword, I fought back as hard as I could, while my hearts were being chipped away slowly. My spider monkey reflexes made me way quicker, and soon enough, the Desert Lord was vanquished. Difficult battle brought on powerful change, and I grew into a regular spider monkey. I am a baby no more. I felt my total number of hearts increase to 20, and I gained the ability to shoot black energy blasts. The power of both spiders and monkeys flows within me. I don't know what that means, but it sure does sound cool. From day 16 to day 19, I went mining down in the caverns below my base. I heard that sometimes criminals have to go underground to avoid the law, and I guess I'm doing that now, just with more iron ore. My search for iron to craft new weapons took me deep beneath the surface, so deep that I even accidentally uncovered the tomb of an ancient pharaoh. He rose from his sarcophagus and came after me with all the fury of, well, a guy who was just trying to rest in peace.
How dare you disturb my millennia of tranquil slumber?
I'm so sorry, Lord Pharaoh, sir. I was just searching for iron ore, and I didn't even know you were here. I'll leave your tomb, and I'll even seal it back up.
You know what? You broke the rules, but did immediately say you were sorry and tried to fix things. That makes you A-okay in this Pharaoh's book. I'm going back to sleep instead of punishing you. Don't forget to seal the tomb on the way out.
Wow, you're surprisingly forgiving. I wish more of the authority figures up in the overworld were like you. After I had left and sealed the Pharaoh's tomb, I found an iron ore vein that provided me with enough material to upgrade both my sword and my pickaxe. From day 20 to day 22, I was returning home to my base after a long day of living on the lam. This life can be stressful, but nothing worth doing has ever been easy.
How very philosophical, Zozo. I'll carve it into your tombstone after your execution.
I turned and saw that it was him, the Supreme Gort.
It's come to my understanding that you know my secret now, Zozo. That's highly illegal, and you'll have to be punished to the fullest extent of the law.
You'll never get away with this, Supreme Gort. You can't make all these decisions without consulting anyone else. It has to end.
End? I'm sorry to tell you, Zozo, but the Supreme Gort is a lifetime appointment. Time to bring your lifetime to an end.
We engaged in another battle, but this time I was far stronger than before. With my enhanced weapon skills, as well as my energy beams, I was able to get him on the ropes. Supreme Gort, I contest your decisions. With another strike, he was destroyed. But then I realized that was all just another part of his plan. He appeared behind me, respawning almost instantly, and badly injured me with a surprise attack. You can't have more than 7 lives left now, Supreme Gort. I already defeated you twice now.
Correct, but I only need to best you once, Zozo.
But before he could destroy me, Amadeus the Armorer ran out, ready to fight on my behalf.
If you're so tough, try taking on 2 of us, Gort.
So many lawbreakers. I'll let it slide for now, but soon enough, I'll return and bring the full fury of my power upon you law-breaking miscreants.
With that, he disappeared. It was the only time so far that I'd seen him truly afraid. From day 23 to day 26, I was hanging out in my storage room, seeing if I could craft something cool out of all the random pieces of junk that Amadeus had left around. Oh, these pieces look kind of weird, but I wonder what they'd do if I fused them together. My experiment was worthwhile because the pieces allowed me to create an awesome Tarantula Hocolytra, a special armor piece that gave me the ability to fly. This is gonna be so useful at escaping the Supreme Gort and his evil minions. And if you want to escape boredom, you've gotta search Zozo to find all my other awesome Minecraft adventures. From day 27 to day 31, I decided to fly over to Amadeus and show him the new gear I'd made.
A Tarantula Hocolytra. Genius! You're something of an armorer yourself, it seems, Zozo.
Thanks, Amadeus. I learned it all from you. And hey, having the right materials always helps too.
Right you are, Zozo. Speaking of which, I need some materials for the statue. Would you mind swinging by the Crimson Gardens and finding me some nether wart blocks? I'd go myself, but there are some people in that area who aren't big fans of mine.
Absolutely, Amadeus. I'll get right on it. Using my new gear, I flew to the nearest portal and made my way to the Crimson Forest, ready to collect exactly what Amadeus needed. Yikes, I don't want to spend too much time here. It's giving me an eerie vibe. And there was a good reason for this. A gang of snow leopards seemed to be waiting for me.
Oh, perfect! We were just getting hungry. Glad you're here, lawbreaker.
I'm not here to break the law. I'm here to collect some materials for my friend.
Collect, huh? You're probably gonna steal it. Let's eat this sucker, boys, for the glory of the Supreme Gort.
They attacked me, but this time I was able to dodge some of the hits and fire energy blasts down at them until they were all defeated. That's one gang of hungry mercenaries defeated, but I still don't have my material. I need to keep searching. From day 32 to day 35, I continued searching around the weird and freaky Crimson Gardens, keeping my eye out for any potential snow leopards. Instead, I saw a snow golem who seemed a little worried and out of place. Maybe this is another victim of the Supreme Gort's tyranny. Time to see if I can help. I flew down and spoke to him.
I'm extremely lucky you came by. I'm a prospector, you see. Jeepers is the name, a searcher of minerals, and my partner, Emmanuel Camelmore, was here helping me with my mineral mining until he was captured and taken by the dastardly privateer, Thornwolf.
A kidnapping? Oh no. And wait, you guys mine materials? Like netherwart blocks?
Oh, I have that in spades. If you go to the Pointed Stone Forest and save him, in exchange, I'll give you the materials you seek.
That sounds like a good deal to me, Jeepers. From day 36 to day 39, I made the treacherous journey through the Pointed Stone Forest. It didn't take me long to find an impressive-looking compound in the middle of the forest. This must be where Jeepers' business partner, Mr. Camelmore, is being held hostage. And sure enough, I saw the terrifying Thornwolf patrolling around the compound, as fierce as his name suggested.
I can't wait to fight somebody today, especially if they try to get in.
Okay, this isn't gonna be easy. I'm stronger than I used to be, but I still don't want to charge into a direct fight with Thornwolf if I don't have to. Instead, maybe I'll fly in and enter from above. They're probably keeping Camelmore on the top floor. I might be able to save him without fighting anybody. Little did I know, this whole situation was a lot more strange than I could ever imagine. From day 40 to day 43, I put my infiltration plan into action. I flew up into the air and swooped down onto the top of the compound, avoiding being seen by Thornwolf. I used my pickaxe to dig through the top of the building, exactly as I'd planned, and jumped down into the top floor where Camomore was being hidden. I jumped to the rescue, but when Emmanuel Camomore saw me, he strangely didn't seem pleased to be rescued.
Wait, who are you? What are you doing in here?
I'm here to help you? Before I could ask any more questions, the Thornwolf burst in. He was even freakier looking up close.
You, get away from my client!
Client? More like hostage. We flew into battle, with me needing to give everything I had to stand a chance against the fury of the Thornwolf. But in the end, I came out on top. Just me and Camomore were left in the room.
You fool! You just destroyed my bodyguard!
Bodyguard? I beg your pardon? Before I could delve any further into this strange mystery, Jeepers, the snow golem, burst into the room and blasted Camomore with a firework crossbow, instantly destroying him. What? I thought he was your business partner.
He was indeed, old sport, but we had a falling out. He cooped himself in here and took half of the company's assets with him. I needed to take him out of the equation and reclaim sole ownership, which you helped wonderfully with. Sorry about the deception, but if it makes you feel any better, here's the materials I promised you.
He did indeed give me the material, making me feel very morally weird in the process. Yeah, thanks, I guess. From day 44 to day 49, I arrived back at my base with the material in hand, feeling extremely conflicted about how I had obtained it in the first place. But nonetheless, Amadeus was extremely pleased with my progress.
Even if you obtained it as a result of being an unwitting pawn in a duplicitous power struggle, it's still a victory that you got your hands on this, Zozo, and I'm extremely grateful to have it now.
I'm glad, Amadeus. That takes the edge off a little. Amadeus the Armorer took the material and went off to get working. In the meantime, I was thinking about the bizarre incident that unfolded with Camomore at the Pointed Stone Forest. Maybe I should invest a little more heavily in home security. I mined up as much wood as I could and decided to build a perimeter wall around my base just in case the Supreme Gort came back with an army of snow leopards. It's extremely unlikely, but still, best to prepare for it and not need it, than need it and not have it. After I was done, Amadeus came over to excitedly show me how the statue was progressing. This looks absolutely amazing! If you know what it is, let me know down in the comments. I wonder if anyone will get it before I do. From day 50 to day 53, my base was surrounded by a company of ruthless snow leopard mercenaries.
Come out, criminals! We will gobble you up for the Supreme Gort! Gobble for Gort! Gobble for Gort!
They continued to chant as I used my tarantula hockey lytra to fly out and meet them in battle. I'm a flying spider monkey now. My energy blast rained down on the snow leopards, taking out a bunch of them in the process. Then, I slashed away at the rest of them with my iron sword, my armor protecting me from all the damage. Soon, there was no snow leopards left. Huzzah! I've avoided another punishment. I've got to tell Amadeus. I was about to leave when the Supreme Gort appeared in front of me, ready for battle.
I gort you now, spider monkey. Surrender to the law.
Never! I fired a couple energy blasts, then I sword fought with the Supreme Gort until he lost another of his extra lives. Alright, so much for that Gort. Bring on the next Gort. But the Gort was gone. He didn't respawn behind me. Where did he go? Did I get him? Just then, I saw Amadeus the Armorer being dragged away from the base by the Supreme Gort.
You are under arrest for forging illegal armors, associating with other lawbreakers, and worst of all, for revealing my weakness.
Do your worst, Supreme Gort. Zozo will take you down, along with the rest of your lives.
As if! Nothing can stop the Supreme Gort.
I ran over as fast as I could. I couldn't stop the Supreme Gort from taking Amadeus away. No! If only I was more powerful. Next time, I'll get him for sure. My regrets and sadness swirled within me, unlocking new powers within my spider monkey form. 30 more hearts and the ability to warp a short distance. But would it be enough to rescue my friend someday? From day 54 to day 57, I was taking a swim to relax from the previous day. I hate this situation. My closest friend and ally has been kidnapped, and I'm here soaked and sad. It shouldn't be like this. While I was toiling away, Jeepers the Snow Golem arrived at my base.
Zozo, old chap. How have you been keeping?
Not great, honestly. A close friend of mine got kidnapped by the minions of the Supreme Gort. If I can't save him in time, he's probably gonna get executed, and then I'll be all alone out here, a sitting duck.
Then you're lucky I arrived. I'm still grateful for that nasty business you helped me out with regarding Thornwolf and Chamomore. In exchange, I procured a gift for you.
That's when he gave me a strange little secret key. Oh, what's this?
It's a key into the Supreme Gort's jail. I figured you'd be using it to break out. Not in, but whatever works, right?
This is exactly what I needed. Using this key, I'm gonna save my friend. From day 58 to day 62, I decided that there was no victory to be found in just sitting around and moping about Amadeus being thrown into the Supreme Court's jail. Friendship is forever, and so are diamonds. It's time to get myself some diamond gear. I returned to the classic mining cavern, ready to nab myself some glittery goodies that give me an edge when I infiltrated the evil base to save my closest friend. But the last thing I expected to see was a vicious tortoise waiting in the mining cavern for me.
Ha, ha, ha. You fell right into my trap, Zozo. The Supreme Gort put a bounty on your head. I'm gonna claim the prize for myself.
He was truly a terrifying enemy, but lucky for me, he was also extremely slow. While he was moving so slowly towards me, I quickly ran in and mined up some of the diamonds I needed, then ran right past him with my spider monkey speed.
I'll get you next time, Zozo.
With the terrifying tortoise in my metaphorical rearview mirror, I was able to return to the base and use my diamonds to forge some awesome new gear. A diamond pickaxe and a diamond sword. Supreme Gort, your days are numbered. From day 63 to day 66, I stared at the half-finished statue, thinking about all the good times that me and Amadeus spent together before the Supreme Gort took him. Amadeus, you taught me everything I know about this world. You taught me how to live outside the law without losing my sense of goodness. You taught me the greatest weakness of the Supreme Gort. You saved me, and now I'm gonna save you. And if you want to save yourself from having a dull YouTube timeline, then you've got to subscribe to Zozo for more awesome Minecraft adventure videos! From day 67 to day 70, I began my infiltration mission into the Supreme Gort's jail. I'm breaking in to rescue Amadeus. There were snow leopards guarding every entrance and patrolling the walls. You know, I never questioned it before, but where did he get so many of these guys? Did he create some kind of snow leopard reserve to make his army? Is that even legal? Well, I guess since he did it, that's all beside the point. I took out a couple leopard guards and warped inside the prison. The place was huge, clearly designed to hold hundreds, maybe even thousands of prisoners. And yet, it was also completely empty. Why did he build such a large prison if he just executes everybody anyway? Then, I remembered the Gort sword. He said he stole that from a former prisoner. Maybe he wants Amadeus to make him some armor, which he can then just call his own. It was a sinister plan. I believed the Supreme Gort was definitely capable of it, but because of his greed, I'd have a chance to save my Amadeus. Just hang in there a little bit longer, Amadeus. Your little buddy is on his way. From day 71 to day 74, I made my way deeper into the prison, horrified by the empty cells, each one built for a criminal that was never given a trial before being fed to snow leopards under the Supreme Gort's rule. I kept on searching for the cell that held Amadeus until I was suddenly face to face with the Supreme Gort himself. He was sparkling and looked like he meant business.
Breaking into my jail? Illegal! Your punishment will be dealt to you swiftly by my own 2 hands. So say I, the Supreme Gort.
That diamond armor, did you make Amadeus make that for you?
This old thing, ha! It's merely a mock-up for the Supreme Armor of Gort. Your criminal accomplice is currently in the dungeon workshop, slaving over a forge to make the real thing.
So he's alive! Good. You won't be for long. I battled the Supreme Gort, using my warp ability to sneak up behind him and slash him with my diamond sword. By now, I had fought this guy so many times that I was used to his attack patterns. I warped a short distance away from him and pelted him with energy blasts until he went down, dropping the full diamond armor on the ground. I know he's still got 5 lives left, but at least now I can keep him from equipping that diamond armor. I'll use it for myself. Once I put on the armor, I remembered what the Supreme Gort said about the workshop. I knew Amadeus was there, so I went to find it. From day 75 to day 78, I burst into the dungeon workshop like a big darn hero and found Amadeus the Armorer working at a pure evil, totally legal forge. Amadeus, I'm here to rescue you.
Good to see you, little buddy. I stalled for a time to make the Supreme Gort's armor because I knew you'd reach me before the rest of the 100 days were up.
Let's get you out of here. I freed Amadeus, and together we headed for the prison exit.
Zozo, there's something you need to know.
Don't worry about it. Save it for after we've escaped. I felt a chill on my back as the Supreme Gort appeared behind us. Go on! I shouted to Amadeus. I'll hold him off and catch up with you. Amadeus ran out the prison door and got far away from the horrible building.
You'll be punished even more for that one, Zozo. Nobody releases my prisoners. It's illegal.
Oh, please. Like you said, you can only punish me once, but you won't even get that far, Supreme Gort. We fought, and once again, I bested the Supreme Gort and caused him to be defeated. Ha! This just keeps getting easier. I'm gonna run away before he responds. From day 79 to day 84, the Supreme Gort respawned inside his prison and made his way to a secret room which housed the Supreme Armor of Gort. Amadeus had already completed it a few days ago, but he wasn't able to warn me about it. The Supreme Gort put the armor on, and its power transformed him into an even more powerful Supreme Gort.
I'm more Gort than anyone can handle now. Deal with my brand new "Don't Mess With Me" law. The punishment is getting totally thwopped by me in a fight to the doom.
From day 85 to day 89, I reunited with Amadeus at my base, and we hatched a scheme on what to do about the Supreme Gort's last 5 lives. Amadeus also filled me in on the whole deal with the Supreme Armor of Gort and how powerful it now made our common enemy.
Right now, taking even one more of his spawns would prove difficult. You're going to need an edge. Take this fire aspect enchantment for now. Well, I think of something.
Amadeus gave my diamond armor a Thorns enchanted book, which would deal damage to enemy mobs with every hit they made against me. Armed with that defense, I felt a bit more relieved and went to look at the statue, which Amadeus had already finished by the time I had gotten home. It was a statue of Spider-Man, the greatest superhero of all time, and an inspiration to any creature with spider in its name. Spider-Man always did what was right, even when the law turned against him. And now, the right thing to do is to defeat the Supreme Gort. I went back to Amadeus, who had made use of his extra time to think and formulate a way for me to win.
What if there was a way to take out all of the Supreme Gort's remaining lives in one go?
That would be perfect. Can we do that?
Only if you master the most forbidden technique there is. You must drink the lost potion of Wither and gain the ability to shoot Wither Skulls. It's the ultimate rule to break, but I think you can do it and still be a good guy.
Where can I find this Wither potion?
It was discovered and then forgotten by a dubious mining company in the Pointed Stone Forest. You can probably find them at their old hideout.
From day 90 to day 94, I returned to the scene of the crime. Well, one of them anyway. The building for the mining company that I had helped destroyed in a weirdly contentious side quest. Oh man, I still get chills thinking about that. As I explored the derelict mini base, I looked at many open rooms when I found a pit I descended down into. At the bottom of the pit, there was a storage area where I came upon the Wither Potion. Or rather, the only potion I could find. But it was, without a doubt, the Wither Potion! I'll be taking this As I left the base, another group of snow leopards showed up to try and get me.
The Supreme Court may only have 5 lives left, but you're about to get 8, or eaten, to be grammatically correct.
Thanks for confirming, but soon that number won't matter. I'll wither them all away. Hey! The snow leopards surrounded me. They were no match for the Thorns enchantment. I didn't even have to attack while my armor did all the work. I guess a good defense is the best offense. From day 95 to day 97, I could hear Amadeus the Armorer hard at work on his greatest suit of armor yet. He made sure to put every bit of effort and skill that had earned him his infamous reputation into the material of the armor, and the end result was a mighty set of netherite armor that would rival the supreme armor of Gort.
I called this one the excellent armor of Zozo. It's yours to wear into battle from now until the end of your adventure.
Thanks, Amadeus. You've been the greatest friend that any spider monkey could have ever hoped for.
And you've been the greatest spider monkey a friend could ever hope for, Zozo. Good luck against the Supreme Gort. And remember, Amadeus the Armorer will always have your back.
On day 98, I wandered through the forest and admired all the beautiful trees, and thanked all of this channel's super cool subscribers for being so awesome and watching all of my great videos whenever I upload them. Make sure to search for more Zozo videos when you're done watching this one. No matter what he says, the Supreme Gort can't stop you from enjoying more of my adventures. On day 99, I was all armored up and ready for my final battle with the Supreme Gort. Who wouldn't expect this to be the day where the rest of his extra lives would go bye-bye? I never did find out what crime the Supreme Gort had charged me with, but I guess at this point, it doesn't matter. It's not about the destination, it's about the unfair rules you defy along the way. In the depths of the super prison, the Supreme Gort was waiting for me to arrive. He was wielding his Gort sword and wearing the supreme armor of Gort. It was a full Gort ensemble. I was ready for whatever his 5 remaining lives had in store.
Welcome to your doom, you rule-breaking little rule-breaker! I, the Supreme Gort, do declare that on this day, the 99th since I first sentenced you to punishment, you shall verily be disposed of with the full ferocity of the authority invested in me by the laws of this overworld and every Gort within it.
You talk a whole lot for somebody who is about to get withered away.
Withered away? What in Gort's name do you mean by that?
I drank the Wither Potion and received the forbidden powers within, becoming the ultimate spider monkey in both body and soul. I had 100 hearts and an infinite number of Wither Skulls to fire at my nemesis. It's time for the Gort to be adjourned.
What the Gort?
I shot 5 Wither Skulls at the Supreme Gort before he even had a chance to dodge. The skull-shaped projectiles pierced through his armor and instantly burned away every last one of his remaining stocks.
No! I, the Supreme Gort, cannot be destroyed! It's against the rules!
The thing about that is, you don't make the rules anymore. And just like that, the Gort was no more. On day 100, Amadeus and I celebrated the downfall of the Supreme Gort back at our base. We were now free to live our lives by our own rules, and with trust and respect for each other, I knew we'd made the right ones.
Care for some more armor, Zozo?
You know it, Amadeus. There's no rules against that. Just then, Jeepers the Snow Golem ran into the hideout, looking totally frantic.
Zozo, you won't believe what has just happened. Thornwolf's brother has come to the overworld in search of revenge. You gotta lend me a hand.
Actually, Jeepers, I still feel really bad about that, so I'm gonna let you handle it. Besides, the bad guy in this challenge was the Supreme Gort, and he's toast.
Oh, okay. Congratulations.
Jeepers left the base, and Amadeus and I returned to celebrating, and everything was better forever. On day 1, I spawned into the Amaranth Field as a blinged out diamond monkey. Ooh, I'm so shiny, even if I am a little baby monkey. I hopped around and started exploring the fields. It was so cool and colorful. It seemed like this was going to be a really fun adventure. Until a huge, terrifying creeper spider broodmother started crawling towards me. I'd never seen anything like it. Oh my goodness, you're certainly interesting.
I don't think you're being sincere. You don't think I'm interesting at all, do you? You actually think I'm strange and frightening.
What? No, you're putting words in my mouth.
Well, unlucky for you, I am strange and frightening. And so are my many children.
You have children?
Yes, 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 so many! And within 100 days, we will rule the world, and every other creature will be destroyed! Starting with you, you glittering little monkey!
Creeper Spider Broodmother fired a powerful exploding fireball at me that blew up the ground near my feet. I was nowhere near powerful enough to fight back. All I could do was run away as fast as I could. That Broodmother didn't seem nice. I don't want it and it's young to rule over the world, so I better find a way to stop it before it gets out of hand. On day 2, I began to explore more of the Amaranth Fields, taking in the sights and trying my best to learn my way around this interesting, beautiful biome. Hopefully, without running into any more trouble from the Broodmother Creepy Spider or her creepy crawly kids. While I was roaming around, I checked and noticed I had 10 hearts. Not tons of health, so I'd have to be careful not to take too much damage. Lucky for me, I found some apples growing on a tree. Out of reach for ordinary chumps walking around on 2 legs, but with my diamond monkey agility, I was able to climb up into the branches and grab that sweet fruit. Suddenly, while I was enjoying my apples up in the tree, I heard a telltale hissing coming from below. I peered out and was met with the sight of a creeper down below.
There you are. The Broodmother said there was a lost little diamond monkey out here all alone.
Go away! I don't want any trouble!
Then you never should have wandered up that tree. You're in the perfect spot for some exploding.
The creeper started getting ready to blow. I looked around, trying desperately to find an escape route, but there was no tree close enough for me to jump to. I tried to distance myself from the impending blast and braced myself for the loud boom, when all of a sudden, nothing happened. I looked back down, and someone had attacked the creeper, stopping it exploding at the last minute. A phantom fox.
You, come with me quickly. More will be on the way, so we have to get out of here.
Say no more. On day 3, the phantom fox led me through the Amaranth Fields after saving me. We walked quite a distance from where the creeper had found me before finally arriving at a campfire in a clearing.
We'll be safe here. Perhaps now we can be acquainted. I am Philo of the Phantom Fox clan.
Nice to meet you. My name's Zozo.
It's been a while since the Amaranth Fields have played host to a diamond creature. This can only be a good omen though. We will need all the help we can get to defeat the Broodmother.
Oh yeah, I had a run-in with her. Not a fan, I'll tell you that much. Philo and I were soon joined by another, a wise old wind serpent. He explained more about what was going on.
The creatures of the Amaranth Fields used to live in perfect harmony, but the Broodmother sought to disrupt all of that and use her spiderlings to control the entire world. We must unite and stop her.
Well, I'm no parenting expert, but I don't think she should be making her kids take over the world with her. I'll do what I can.
Then welcome to our resistance, Zozo. You are one of us. Philo will guide you. There is much to be done.
From day 4 to day 5, Philo and I went off together to search for an ideal location to set up shop. We'd need a base, a place to call home, if we were going to reunite the creatures of the fields and put a stop to the Broodmother's schemes. So I knocked down some trees and gathered up some wood. I had enough to craft a wooden pickaxe, and then we went off looking for something stronger, stone. Before long, I had gathered up enough stone to make a full set of stone tools. There was even enough left over to make a snazzy stone sword. Now, I could defend myself if any more mean mobs showed up. Turned out, that was just about to happen. It was while I was building the first few rooms of our base that an icy creeper snuck up on me. It must have just come across us by chance, but it startled me. I panicked and wildly swung my sword, taking the icy creeper down, but looking a little clumsy when I did. Afterwards, Philo came over to talk.
Not exactly elegant, are you? Here, if you're going to swing that thing around, let me show you the proper technique.
That would be amazing. But first, I'm hungry. Do you have anything I could eat?
Oh, fine. Here are some apples. Now, follow me.
Philo imparted some Phantom Fox wisdom to me and taught me how to fight. I could feel myself getting stronger. I now had 30 whole hearts. Philo even taught me a brand new power too, a freezing ice blast. Ice powers. It makes sense, seeing as I'm so iced out. From day 6 to day 8, Philo sent me off to the Cherry Blossom Forest to gather resources. We needed some wood for the roof of our base, and there were far more trees here than the Amaranth Fields. Plus, he said I'd need to learn my way around the world if I was going to help the other creatures stop the Broodmother. But while I was on my travels, chopping down trees and minding my own business, I noticed someone in a spot of trouble nearby. A stranger looked like they were being attacked by a basalt snake.
Away with you, beast! Unless you want me to rock the house down!
The stranger must have been a geomancer. Who else would make such an awkward rock pun? As he ran away, I drew my stone sword and decided to help out. This was it, my first taste of combat. I attacked the basalt snake. It was a slippery enemy, dodging out of the path of my swings and then lunging towards me when it found an opening. I was barely able to leap out of the way in time, saved at the last second by my monkey agility. At last, I saw an opening and took my chance, landing the winning strike.
Not bad carrying there, lad. You're clearly not one of the Broodmother's lackeys. Tell you what, you fancy giving me a hand, taking care of some of that creepy spider's creepy spawn?
Sounds good to me. That ought to slow her down. From day 9 to day 10, I went with the geomancer deeper into the cherry blossom forest, looking for a nest where some of the creeper spider broodmother's children were hiding, waiting for the command to take over. We were trying to sneak up undetected, but suddenly we were ambushed by one of the creeper spiderlings. It was way smaller than the broodmother, but it was still creepy.
Mama said you can't be here. I'm gonna tell on you.
I fought as hard as I could, but the creeper spiderling was far too tough. Every time I tried to corner it, it would scuttle out of reach. I had no choice but to retreat. I was a little disheartened. If I couldn't take on one of the broodmother's offspring, what chance did I stand against her?
Don't be so hard on yourself, lad. Life, as I've experienced, it's a rocky road. Don't you give up now.
Gee, thanks. You need a place to stay? Come back to my base. From day 11 to day 12, the geomancer and I made our way back to the base in the Amaranth Fields. Straight away, I got to making a storage room with plenty of space for all the resources I gathered. I then went on to work on the geomancer's room. I added a floor to my base, which gave him plenty of space to practice rocking out if he needed to.
Well, this is all just too kind, Zozo. I've got no coin nor any token to give you as thanks, lad. But here, let me use my powers to really rock this joint.
The geomancer really was stone cold brilliant. He built an entire smelting place outside and a new storage room just to say thanks for letting him stay. This was amazing. It really helped improve the base. Thanks to him, things were really coming along. We even got to talking about the broodmother and why she was so set on taking over the world.
I've been studying the fauna of this place for quite some time. It really is fascinating. All the creatures here are bestowed with great power. The broodmother has the power of dominance, the will to take control of everything. But what's interesting is there is a creature made to be the embodiment of good and selflessness. A diamond monkey.
Wow, so you're saying I might be able to defeat her?
Zozo, lad, I'd say you've got a better chance than anyone.
Later, I paid a visit to a nearby mine and dug up some iron ore. Now I could put that brand new furnace to good use. I turned the ore into some iron ingots, then smelted those with iron replacements for my sword and pickaxe. While I was gone, the geomancer placed down some fences to make a sheep pen. I lured some sheep in to make a farm. From day 13 to day 15, I spoke to Philo about what I could do to get stronger. He suggested that I should head off on a small journey to do some hands-on training. You're sure about this?
Of course, you're a diamond monkey, and that means you're the living embodiment of all good. And being good means banishing evil, so go do some banishing.
I headed back to the cherry blossom forest, although I wasn't exactly sure how I was meant to banish evil. That seemed like more of an ongoing life goal than a simple training exercise. I didn't get too much time to think about it though, before I was confronted by another angry creeper. Hey, my twin brother was sent to catch a diamond monkey like you for our master the broodmother, and he never made it back. Yeah, my Phantom Fox friend sort of destroyed him. He did what? Oh, you're so gonna pay. The creeper came at me. I leaped back to a safe distance in case it exploded. I used my diamond monkey reflexes to stay out of range of the creeper's explosive radius, then hopped in close when it was safe to deal some damage with my iron sword. Finally, I was able to finish him off. But that wasn't all. The defeated creeper dropped a health potion, which gave me a whole 60 hearts when I drank it. The whole encounter had given me the experience to teach myself a brand new move too, the knockback punch. From day 16 to day 19, I ventured out further and came across the deep canyons stretching as far as the eye could see. I had to be careful traveling the higher ground. One wrong step, and I'd have a really nasty fall. But it was while traversing my way down to the lower depths of the canyons that I happened to stumble across something pretty unexpected. It was an old journal that somebody must have dropped. I picked it up and took a look, reading some of what was written inside. It started happening much sooner than we thought. The bad needs good to counter it. It can grow and grow. That's why the brood mother is getting stronger. We need balance, otherwise her evil power will grow until it cannot be contained. It will sweep across the world under the many legs of her and her spawn, unless we can find someone who as good as she is bad. Suddenly, while I was reading, I heard a familiar hissing drawing near and turned to see a group of creepers behind me.
There he is, boys. That's the diamond monkey who took out Jim. Oh, and that the brood mother wants us to destroy too, I guess.
Jim was old school, one of the good ones, man. Jim? That other creeper? Yeah, our twin. Why are so many of you twins?
Well, that's a funny story, actually. You see, all creepers, get 'em, boys!
The creepers attacked, but I was feeling confident. After all, I'd only just taken down one of them and gotten stronger as a result. So swinging my sword the way Philo had taught me, I made quick work of dispatching this new group of creepers. From day 20 to day 22, I made the long journey back to the Amaranth Fields. I hadn't returned to base in a few days, so I thought it was about time for a rest and a resupply. Once I was back at my base, I headed back to the mines, gathering up some more iron ore from a vein deep underground. That ore I then turned into iron ingots, which I used then to create a brand new iron chestplate. With all these new hearts, new powerful attacks, and now some added protection against damage, I was feeling ready to go back and face the creeper spiderling from earlier. I crept through the cherry blossom forest, making sure to keep to the treetops and using my diamond monkey agility to my advantage. I came across the spiderling, and when I was ready, leapt down from the treetops to attack. My ambush worked, catching the creeper spiderling off guard. Startled, it panicked, and I was able to use my knockback attack to blast it off its feet. Then, using my iron sword, I finished it off. I had beaten the spiderling! But all the commotion had attracted some unwanted attention from someone I didn't realize was nearby, the brood mother!
Heh, you think that's all it'll take to stop me? Destroy my spiderlings! I don't even care! Even if you're able to kill just one, there will be two more ready to take its place.
Look, you're only this powerful because there was no one good enough to cancel out your bad. But I'm around now, and a diamond monkey is the embodiment of goodness. So why don't we call this a stalemate? You and your creepy kids can call off this world domination plan. Just leave everyone alone, and we'll leave you alone.
Oh, but I'm not interested in there being balance. I don't need there to be good. Once my children and I have covered the world, then all that exists, all that is good or bad will be for me to decide. And you won't be around to stop me!
The brood mother launched one of her explosive fireballs at me. I thought about fighting back, but instead, I snuck off once she'd lost sight of me. I wasn't strong enough yet, and I could hear the geomancer's lesson in my head. Gotta remember, it's a rocky road. Could really go for some ice cream right about now. From day 23 to day 26, I made my way back to my base. Even though it had taken me a while to get back to it, I had taken down the spiderling that the geomancer had asked me to help defeat. I thought he'd want to hear the good news.
That's my boy! I'm proud of you, lad!
Since my chestplate had come in handy protecting me against the spiderling, I decided I needed to complete my set of armor. So I headed back to the mines, gathering up some iron ore from the vein. Once it had been made into ingots, and those had been smelted, I had a snazzy pair of iron boots, pants, and a helmet to match my chestplate. I even had enough iron left over to make the rest of the iron tools.
Ah, Zozo! I see you've learned the value of a good defense. You could say I had the same idea. Ta-da!
The geomancer had been back at it again, making upgrades to my base. This time, he'd constructed a roof on the house and a perimeter wall around the main base to protect the structure against attacks, just like a suit of armor. Great minds really did think alike. From day 27 to day 31, I decided I would head back through the canyons. After discovering the book I had found there, I was wondering if there was any more useful information waiting to be uncovered nearby. I didn't come across any more dropped journals, but I did meet a friendly leopard.
My name is Lorne. Delightful to meet the one who cleared out some of those pesky creepers. But be on your guard, my friend. There are more out here, and far worse monstrous creatures have aligned themselves with the wretched brood mother.
Thanks for the warning, Lorne. If it's not safe out here, then you should head back to my base.
Many thanks to you. I never thought I'd be lucky enough to witness a diamond monkey's selflessness again.
Searching around, I didn't find much else of interest, so I headed back to base not long after. Once there, I harvested some sheep's wool from the farm and used it to make some decorative banners that really livened the place up.
But my excitement was short-lived, as Philo ran up to me in a blind panic.
Zozo, come quickly! Our friend is in need of your help!
From day 32 to day 35, I rushed after Philo back towards the campfire area. The wind serpent was under attack! There was no time to lose. He had set me on my path, and now I needed to help him. When we arrived, there were creepers coming from all directions. I had never seen so many in one place before. The hissing and rustling they all made was deafening. I climbed a tree, trying to get closer to the wind serpent in order to save him. I could see him fighting back against the creepers, but while his back was turned, one behind him started smoking. Look out! Boom! The creeper set off an explosive chain reaction, causing a bunch of others around it to also explode. By the time the smoke had cleared, only a few were left, but the wind serpent had been caught in the blast. No! I leaped down from the tree and attacked the remaining creepers. I finished off what was left of them, but it was far too late to save my friend. From day 36 to day 39, I tried to take my mind off of what had happened. I decided I'd go somewhere quiet to be alone with my thoughts and ended up wandering into the aspen forest. While I was there, thinking about the poor wind serpent, someone came up to me. It was a green manticore.
Excuse me, I couldn't help notice the glimmer of a diamond monkey. Aren't you meant to be the embodiment of goodness?
Yeah, I suppose, although I'm not feeling too good right now.
Well, sorry to bother you, but I just wanted to ask for your help.
The manticore showed me to the source of his troubles, a horrifying undead scorpion. I pulled out my sword and rushed into battle. The undead scorpion was vicious, swiping at me with its tails as I tried my best to defend. With a blast of my knockback attack, followed up with a combo of an ice blast, I was able to defeat the monstrous creature.
Oh, thank you so much. That thing was so menacing.
The green manticore explained that some creatures believed the power of the broodmother's bat was still getting stronger, so much that it was raising creepy creatures from beyond the grave. I had to stop this! From day 40 to day 43, I headed back to base to recollect myself and see if my friends had any more advice on how I could get strong enough to stop the broodmother. Much to my surprise, they had been working on improving the place while I had been gone. Philo had even made some nice new bookshelves and couches and came to me with a special request.
Zozo, with all this extra space, I think my friends from the Phantom Fox clan would feel very at home here. What do you think?
Philo, if they're anything like you, then we'd be lucky to have them here. With that, Philo let out a loud screeching call into the air to draw in his fellow Phantom Foxes. Before long, even more of them had started slinking out from the Amaranth Fields, and I welcomed them to their new home. Then, a familiar feline face showed up. It was Lorne the leopard. Glad you made it.
Greetings, friend. Forgive me, but I am in need of your help. On my way, I was attacked by a nether ogre, a ghastly thing that has allied itself with the broodmother. Her badness has attracted all manner of otherworldly beasts.
Say no more, Lorne. You rest up here and heal. I'll take care of that nether ogre. From day 44 to day 49, I started to search for the nether ogre that had harmed my poor leopard friend Lorne. I decided the best place to start looking would be the canyons, since that's where I had last seen Lorne. If there was no sign, then I'd just retrace her steps heading back towards the base. I thought maybe I'd have some luck finding the nether ogre when I felt the ground start to shake. But where I was expecting to see the ogre emerge from, instead, I saw a monster I didn't want to find. It was the broodmother!
Ah, there you are! I've been looking all over for you.
Get back! How did you even find me?
Oh dear, the oh-so-goody-goody diamond monkey doesn't know.
Wait, you managed to find me in the aspen forest too. How do you always know where I am?
You should really pay more attention. My spiderlings are everywhere. They're very good at hiding, and they tell me everything they see.
You're spying on me? Why?
Well, I can't have you finding my nest, can I? And you're completely oblivious to where it is. Let's keep it that way.
Something snuck up from behind me. The legendary silver skeleton! The broodmother tricked me into an ambush. The mighty silver skeleton took up its weapon and came at me, and I had no choice but to fight back. From day 50 to day 53, I crossed swords with the silver skeleton. I tried my best to spot where the broodmother had got to, but she had scuttled back to the shadows, leaving her undead minion to finish me off. I did my best to parry each of his moves and tried to take a swing at him when I could. But then, I had a thought. If the broodmother spiderlings were really watching me, then why not make sure she knew exactly what I could do? I froze him to the spot, so he was stuck fast and couldn't move. One more strike with my blade, and he was defeated. I had done it, but frozen pieces weren't the only things that fell to the floor. Among the icy remains of the silver skeleton were some mystical diamonds. I reached out to grab them and instantly had a flashback. I could see another diamond monkey like me. He wandered the same places, met the same friendly creatures, but there was one difference. Back then, there was balance. I wondered what happened to him, where he had gone, and how it had caused good and bad to become uneven. Took those mystical diamonds with me. I had a great use for them in mind later on. From day 54 to day 57, now that the distraction of the silver skeleton was dealt with, I continued my search for the nether ogre. When I ventured further into the canyons than I'd gotten before, it didn't take me long to track him down. There was no time for chit-chat with this monster. He came right at me, ready to attack. I guess the mobs that the broodmother was teaming up with weren't all the brightest bunch, but they were some of the baddest. The ogre was big and strong. Its heavy fists were like huge boulders. I had to remember to use my smaller size and stature to my advantage, keeping out of the way. But without any tall trees nearby, I couldn't leap up to safety. Eventually though, the nether ogre's angry swings and the frustration at not being able to catch me soon got the better of him. He started to get tired, slowing down. And once he was almost worn out, bam! My kickback punch knocked him right off the mountain. With the nether ogre defeated, I headed back to my base in the Amaranth Fields to tell Lorne the good news.
Why, thank you, friend. I'll sleep a little easier knowing that brood is gone.
Say, Lorne, did you ever meet another diamond monkey before me?
Of course. He was as kind and selfless as you, Zozo, but also wise and noble. Nobody knows where he went. Perhaps his time was up, but once he was gone, much of his goodness left with him, apart from that which he passed on to others. That's what's allowed the broodmother to gain such power. There was an absence of good in the world, so she filled it with bad.
From day 58 to day 62, I decided to do some work on the base. After all, with the whole Phantom Fox clan here, the place needed some improvements. I expanded the pen that was holding the sheep, making more room so that more of them could fit in. More sheep meant more wool. Then, I had to get working on my idea to use the mystical diamonds I'd picked up from the silver skeleton. Problem was, I didn't have enough to actually make anything. Maybe I could find some normal diamonds to make up for it. Sure enough, I headed down into the mines and found just what I was looking for. Diamonds, and plenty of them. I started chipping them out of the stone wall, and before long, I had enough for my plan. I used the diamonds, both the normal kind and the mystical ones, to craft myself a brand new diamond sword and a pickaxe to match. Now I could dish out a lot more damage.
Zozo, come take some time to relax, sit with us a while, and see the good you're putting back into the world.
Philo invited me to come and hang out with him and the rest of his Phantom Fox friends. They'd really made the base into a more homely place, with a roaring fireplace and a nice living area where we all sat and chilled for a while. Philo also mentioned that they built a small cottage home for themselves and connected all the buildings with a nice path. The base was really coming together. From day 63 to day 66, I was finishing up a few minor improvements on my base when the Geomancer came to me with a new lead on what our next move should be.
I've been feeling a rumbling, lad. Tremors in the ground. The stones, they speak to me, rocking my very soul.
Okay, and what's the sound of the underground saying?
It might be telling me where the broodmother's lair is. There's a lot of movement in the cypress swamplands. It is a vile, putrid place.
No wonder the broodmother feels so at home there. I'll check it out. I headed off to the location the Geomancer pointed out. He was right about one thing, the place was gross. I had a weird feeling while I was there, almost as if I was being watched, and not just by the broodmother spiderlings. Suddenly, I got startled by a warped phantom. I got ready for a fight, thinking that this was another undead being that the broodmother had raised. But to my surprise, he was actually friendly.
Oh, thank the heavens, a diamond monkey. Goodness will be restored, and then I can rest again. That foul creeper spider broodmother dragged me out from my eternal slumber, but I was at peace.
I'll do what I can. Hey, maybe there's some way to get you back to wherever you were before.
If you could, that'd be wonderful.
From day 67 to day 70, I traveled across the cypress swamplands with the warped phantom, and we soon came across the source of the trouble. One of the broodmother's minions, a wither spider, had disrupted the phantom's tomb, and it was stopping his spirit from resting. So I leapt into action to give the ghost a hand. I wasn't anticipating such a tough fight, but even with my new mystical diamond sword, the wither spider was standing strong. I made a split-second decision to hit it with an ice blast attack, then strike it again with my mystical diamond sword, finally getting rid of it for good.
Oh, thank you very much. Back to peace I go.
From day 71 to day 74, I continued searching around the cypress swamplands, as creepy and stinky as it was. I was told that the creeper spider broodmother was lurking around here, so I can't give up until I've gathered some valuable intel. I climbed up to the tree canopy and walked until I saw something. Oh, a diamond gorilla! That reminds me, you should search Zozo on YouTube to find tons of awesome Minecraft 100 Days adventures. But things were about to get even more interesting because the creeper spider broodmother herself crawled out of the darkness towards me.
Welcome, Zozo, you silly little monkey. If I knew you were coming, I would have made tea. Instead, I'm going to make a fool of you.
Look, I don't necessarily think we need to fight. It's all about finding the balance between good and evil. We can find that without needing to fight each other.
You want balance, I want domination. And I know exactly how to get it. I've created so many creepers and so many creeper spiderlings. And in the end, if I have enough, them all blowing up at once would destroy the entire overworld. So everyone needs to do what I say, or that's exactly what will happen.
That's diabolical!
It's effective! You could learn a thing or two from me. Now run, little monkey, run!
The creeper spider broodmother fired another exploding fireball, and I ran for my life. From day 75 to day 78, I was sitting around my base, confused and afraid. Just couldn't stop thinking about what the creeper spider broodmother had said to me. Would she really blow up the entire overworld to get what she wants? That's a level of evil I've never even seen before, and I'm not sure any good would ever balance that out. But I was able to calm down with the help of a distraction, a visit from Lorne the Leopard.
Zozo, take a look outside. I made a cool watchtower on the base, so we can keep an eye out for any approaching creepers. We'll be extra safe now.
I took a look outside and saw that Lorne had done an amazing job on the watchtower. Seeing it made me forget about my doubts for a bit. And then, something even cooler happened when Philo the Phantom Fox approached me.
Zozo, I've been discussing with the rest of the Phantom Fox clan, and we've decided to give you one of our most treasured family antiques to use in your fight against the creeper threat, the magical enchanted guitar.
Wow, this is amazing! He passed me the guitar, and the second I equipped it and started to play a sick tune, I found my power growing. I reached 100 hearts, became bigger, stronger, and now had a new special ability, firing a powerful green laser. I'd hate to be the creeper spider broodmother now. From day 79 to day 84, I went back out to the cypress swamplands again with my newfound power and confidence, ready to take on the creeper spider broodmother for round 2. Couldn't see her anywhere. Instead, I was attacked by a nasty gang of whisperers, which I was able to pretty easily cut down with my awesome guitar. I can see why the Phantom Fox clan cared about this so much. I heard rustling in the bushes and turned to see a rabbit wolf hopping towards me.
Hey, thank you.
You're welcome. But for what?
Those whisperers have been a pain in my butt forever, and you finally took care of them. Here, and the spare diamond helmet. It didn't fit me anyway.
Oh wow, thank you! I'm better guarded now than ever before! From day 85 to day 89, I returned to my base, eager to show my friends my new shiny diamond helmet, when I saw a little gang of creepers crawling into my base, closing in on an innocent big axolotl. Oh no, I need to run them off! I fired ice blasts and swung my sword until the creepers were gone. Thankfully, none of them exploded near any of the structures on my base, but that didn't mean I could let them get away. But during the fight, I also saw that a creeper was running towards the innocent big axolotl. I couldn't let that happen. I ran over and destroyed the creeper immediately, even while the others ran away. But the big axolotl was extremely grateful for the help.
Thank you, Zozo. I owe you my life.
Stay safe out there, big axolotl. From day 90 to day 94, I traced back the way from where the creepers came, and it led me to the cypress swamplands. I reached an area that looked like some kind of nest, where I can only imagine the creeper spider broodmother was waiting inside. But what was even more worrying was the thing waiting on the bridge to the base. A massive, heavily armed Vindicator. You're not a creeper or undead. What are you doing here?
I'm working for the Big Mama, and she wants me to show you that diamonds aren't forever.
But why would you want to work for her? She and her creepers want to rule the world.
Yeah, and I think they're gonna, so I want to fight for the winning team. So that's enough talking. Let's destroy each other.
And with that, the battle began! From day 95 to day 97, I fought the Vindicator who worked for the Creeper Spider Broodmother. He was one of the most skilled opponents I'd ever faced, and he was dealing a lot of damage against me. But I managed to fight back. Little by little, I turned the tide, until the Vindicator was on the ropes, and eventually, he gave up.
Please, I yield. Have mercy.
I'll let you go, but first, tell me something I don't know about your boss. Tell me something that'll help me win this battle for good.
Okay. Well, you don't need to worry about taking out the little creepers. Just focus on taking out the broodmother. She's got like a hive mind. You take out her, all the creepers go with her.
And with that, the Vindicator ran off, never to be seen again. So I just need to defeat the broodmother to defeat the whole army? Now I know for sure what I need to do. On day 98, as I prepared to return to the Cypress Swamplands to take on and defeat the Creeper Spider Broodmother once and for all, I decided to speak to each one of my basemates one-on-one. First, I spoke to Lorne the Leopard.
I believe in you, Zozo. You're living up to the legacy of the Diamond Monkey. Once you're done, the forces of good and evil will be balanced once more.
Next, I went and spoke to Philo the Phantom Fox.
The safety of our clan owes much to you, Zozo. It's been an honor to work with you. I look forward to celebrating with you once you've defeated the evil.
And finally, I spoke to the Geomancer.
You're gonna squish that nasty spider like a big old newspaper, Zozo. Rock on, man, rock on! You're stone cold!
And with all those words of encouragement, I was ready to go. On day 99, I made my way back to the freaky, stinky Cypress Swamplands. I'd conserved all my energy, ready to unleash it in one big, awesome final battle with the Creeper Spider Broodmother. I know the truth now. If I can defeat her, then I'll defeat her entire Creeper army. But there was one problem in the way. The Creeper army I was just talking about, all surrounding and guarding the Creeper nest. There was no way I could fight them all alone, and if I did, it might leave me weak and tired to take on the mean green mother herself. That's when, in my moment of need, the warped phantom whose spirit I'd helped lay to rest came running towards me. He was here to repay my good deed.
Zozo, go forth and destroy the evil that has plagued this land for so long. I'll distract her awful spawn. You get in there and save the world.
I will, Warped Phantom. Thank you. As the creepers swarmed the Phantom, I snuck up the stairs and into the well that the broodmother repurposed into its own nest. On day 100, I crawled down into the depths of the nest where I could take on the Creeper Spider broodmother alone. She was waiting for me, and she wasn't happy to see me.
You're not meant to be here, Diamond Monkey. This is my domain.
Soon, nowhere is going to be your domain. I wanted to coexist with you. I wanted there to be balance, but you left me no choice. All we can do is fight.
Then why even waste time talking? Allow me to destroy you, so me and my creepers can finally claim the world that is rightfully ours!
And so, the battle began! With my sick guitar, I began fighting the Creeper Spider broodmother as she shot her exploding fireballs at me. The battle was hard. She was the toughest enemy I'd ever faced. But I still had one more power to use against her. I knocked her towards the exit, and that scared her off. She prepared a surprise attack as I exited the room, but I was undeterred. She started to escape, but I summoned all my energy into one attack. My ultimate green laser! With that one last attack, the Creeper Spider Broodmother died, taking all of her Creeper army with her, and the forces of good and evil were balanced across the land once more.
On day 1, I spawned as a little baby monkey in a banana tree, but I only have 3 hearts. As a monkey, I can climb trees. This is awesome. But where are all my monkey friends? I was all alone when suddenly an ocelot started stealing all the bananas from my tree. Ouch, what did I do to you? I didn't have any weapons to fight, so I quickly jumped down from the tree and ran away.
Whew, that was a close one. This water will be a peaceful place to catch my breath.
Just when I thought I was safe, I ran into a crocodile. Ah, oh no!
He wanted to eat me, but I couldn't fight him either, so I climbed up the tree to get away. After reaching the top, I broke the leaves and took a look around. This looks like a good place to hide for the night. I finally felt safe, but I couldn't help but wonder, why was I the only monkey at the tree? As I watched the sunset, I thought about how beautiful but dangerous this world is. How could a little monkey like me ever make a difference? I just need to find some friends and lay low, but I'll focus on that later and get some rest. On day 2, I returned to the banana tree and the ocelot was gone. I'm hungry. I need some of these bananas. I decided to grab as many as I could to take with me on my journey ahead. I didn't see any other monkeys around, so I spent the day gathering wood and stone to make myself some stone tools. While I was doing that, I stumbled across a village of other monkeys. Wow, this place looks great. I'll have to ask someone if they've seen my tribe. I made my way to the top of the hill and saw a wise old monkey looking out at the village. Hey, have you seen any other monkeys like me around? My new friend explained to me that the banana trees in the area were slowly disappearing, and the monkeys were too. I couldn't believe it, so I grabbed any supplies I could around the village and then left to search for my tribe. By day 3, I had found a nice little forest to call my new home. This'll work great. I climbed up the tallest tree and started working on a treehouse for myself. It was hard work, but I'm not afraid of a little hard work. I took a break from building to work on my food source. I planted some banana trees, which grew really fast. Wow, that is one good-looking banana tree. Let's see what these bananas are like. I picked the bananas off the tree and saw they were special golden bananas. I couldn't wait to take a bite. Wow, these are so good. Suddenly, I grew into an adult monkey with 5 hearts. All right, 2 more hearts. I feel stronger and have a jump boost. I can run faster too. With my new abilities, I finished my treehouse in no time. It's not much, but it's a place to call home. That night, I started hearing horrible noises outside my treehouse. When I took a look, my house was surrounded by spiders. Oh great, I totally forgot to put torches at the bottom of my base. I hope I can fight these guys off. Good thing I just made myself a sword. Get back, you creepy crawlers. I won't let you get me. It was a tough fight, but I was able to clear them all out. Maybe I'm tougher than I thought. Or maybe it was just my new sword. Yeah, probably that. With the spiders gone, I could finally get some much needed sleep. On days 4 and 5, I set off to try and find my monkey family, but I ran into the ocelot I saw before. Hey, what are you doing here? He demanded that I give him my bananas so he could give them to his boss. No way I'm not giving you my bananas. Who is your boss and why does he want them? He told me his boss Buff Tiger didn't answer to anyone, especially not little monkeys like me. Before I could respond, he attacked me. Ouch, I'm not letting you pick on me this time. That ocelot was way stronger than I thought and hit me really hard. Luckily, I could climb trees and jump really high, so I could easily get out of the way and hit him back. It took everything I had, but I was able to wear him down and take him out. That was exhausting, but at least I know who I'm up against. But I still had so many questions. Why do they want bananas? And who is this Buff Tiger guy? What kind of name is that anyway? I was able to beat the ocelot, but there was clearly a bigger fight ahead, so I headed back home to prepare for the battle to come. On days 6 to 8, I found a cave to do some mining. If I was going to get to the bottom of this, I needed the gear to do it. Whoa, this cave is huge. I bet I'll be able to find all kinds of resources in here. While I was down there, I found flint, coal, and iron. When I got home, I crafted some furnaces, smelted the iron, and crafted an iron axe, pickaxe, sword, as well as some iron boots. It's just a little bit of protection, but these boots are better than nothing. By then, night had fallen and I could hear noises coming from outside the base. Hello? Who's there? I broke a hole in my fencing and took a peek over the edge. It was a bunch of zombies. Oh shoot, I forgot to put out torches again. Hey guys, we don't have to fight. Why don't you just leave me alone? Alright, suit yourself. They didn't seem too happy with me being there. Eat iron, flesh face. They left me with no choice, so I fought back with my new sword and won. That felt like a much easier fight with my new equipment. I was feeling better already, but definitely needed some rest, so I hopped into bed for the night. On days 9 and 10, I woke up hungry. I had some more bananas to eat, but I needed to find something more filling than that. I decided to make a boat and use it to explore along the river. When I was exploring, I saw another village in the distance. I'm sure the monkeys there can help me find something good to eat, but as I entered the village, it was empty. Where is everyone? Something seems off. The place was deserted, so I helped myself to some wheat and watermelons to take back home. As I was rowing back home, I saw something moving in the trees. Those must be the missing monkeys from the village. But who's that? On a lower tree, I saw a tiger. Could that be the Buff Tiger I'd been hearing so much about? He didn't look so buff to me. It looked like he was trapping those monkeys. I had to save them. I quickly climbed up a nearby tree and called out to him. Hey, what do you think you're doing with those monkeys?
I'm taking these monkeys captive so they can build things for me. It's incredibly difficult when you don't have thumbs.
I don't care how many thumbs you have. It isn't right. I didn't have a second to lose. I quickly jumped up the other trees to try and get to the trapped monkeys. Buff Tiger saw what I was doing and started moving towards them too. I had to beat him to the top. When I reached the top, I hurried and made a bridge for the monkeys to escape. Quick everyone, run across and we can get out of here. Buff Tiger let out a roar, which seemed to freeze all of them except for one, who hurried and ran across the bridge to my tree. Watch out! Buff Tiger jumped across the tree and broke the end of the bridge, blocking the rest of the monkeys off. I couldn't believe it. I was getting ready to try and jump across when the other monkey called out to me.
Don't attack him. He's stronger than he looks. We'll have to try and rescue them later.
All I could do was watch as he led them all away. Come on, let's hurry and get out of here. My new friend and I hurried out of the tree and jumped into a boat. Once we had reached the shore, she explained to me how Buff Tiger had kidnapped them from the nearby village. We decided we would team up and stop him. By the way, what's your name?
My friends call me Chim Chim.
Nice to meet you, Chim Chim. Now let's go kick some tiger tail. On days 11 through 14, Chim Chim and I arrived at the base and got right to work building a space for her to live in. We extended the base over to the nearby tree and put up some torches. Hey, this is looking really great. It's going to be nice having a roommate around. With Chim Chim set up, I headed out to find some more supplies for the fight ahead. I was walking along when I started hearing a weird noise. What in the world is that? I cut some grass and almost stepped on a Komodo dragon. Ah, get away! I tried hitting it with my sword, but it hit back hard. Oh man, I don't feel so good. The dragon had poisoned me, which brought me down to half a heart. I gotta get out of here. While I was running away, I came across some chickens, which gave me an idea. Hey guys, I need your feathers. I'm sure you won't mind. Hearing no complaints, I gathered up all their feathers, put down a crafting table, and made myself a bow and some arrows. That dragon won't stand a chance against me now. I ran back over to the dragon and hopped up a tree. Haha, good luck getting to me this time. I shot off a couple arrows before the dragon tried to charge me. You can't get me up here. I fired one more arrow and took him out. This thing is definitely going to come in handy. From there, I headed into a dark forest and gathered some wood, mushrooms, dirt, and stone. Once I collected that, I started a mine near my base. While I was down in the mines, I got some iron, gold, and coal. I better go get crafting. I headed back into the base where Chim Chim watched me craft a new set of iron armor. I also put together a spear. I wasn't going to need my sword anymore, so I tossed that over to Chim Chim. Hopefully you won't need this, but hold on to it, just in case. Next, I headed down to the water and cleared out an area to plant a farm. I took out my hoe, tilled the ground, and then planted some wheat seeds. I also made sure to plant some watermelon as well, since it was Chim Chim's favorite food. Then I put down some wood and set up some cocoa beans. Wow, this little starter camp is already starting to look like a home. On day 15, Chim Chim woke me up before the sun had risen. Chim Chim, what's going on?
I couldn't sleep. There's a monkey that I think you need to meet, and he can't wait.
Another monkey? Lead the way. Chim Chim led me out of the base, and we entered a dark forest. It's a good thing you know where you're going, otherwise I'd be completely lost. We soon came across a small hut hidden in the thick trees. We entered the hut and inside was a monkey shaman. Hey there, what's going on? The shaman looked deep into my eyes.
The great spirits have long foretold the day when a cursed tiger will seek to enslave all monkeys. They prophesied that he will steal all the bananas and use that to capture and control all the monkeys to do his will. But all hope would not be lost. A monkey would be sent to us who will master the land and defeat the tiger. Zozo, you are that monkey.
I was stunned. No, it's not possible. I couldn't stop Buff Tiger before. How could I be the monkey of legend? I don't have the strength or weapons to possibly save everyone. I'm sorry, but you got the wrong guy. I was too embarrassed to stay there any longer, so I left the hut to head home. I needed to get some rest. On days 16 through 19, I woke up and noticed that Chim Chim was missing. I looked all around the base but couldn't find her anywhere. Chim Chim! I couldn't think of where she would go, but there was one place I knew that was incredibly dangerous. I really hoped she wouldn't be there. As I walked to the edge of the cliff, I could see Chim Chim trapped in the lava. Hang on, Chim Chim, I'm coming to rescue you. I quickly laid down some blocks and made a bridge to where she was trapped. She must have left the base without bringing any supplies. Quick, come across here before the lava rises anymore. We ran back across to safety. Chim Chim, what were you doing out there? I was really worried about you.
After you told the shaman you wouldn't help, I couldn't wait around and do nothing. I was trying to go and find my captured monkey friends when I got trapped.
That was really brave of you. You know what? I'll help. I don't think I'm the monkey they're talking about, but if you want to fight Buff Tiger, I can fight too. That seemed to really cheer Chim Chim up. But before we could leave, we heard a squawk from near the lava. We went to take a look and saw an emu trapped on the other side. He needs some help. Don't worry, buddy, I've got you. I put some blocks down and made a bridge for the emu to get across the lava. He followed me across, and so I built some ladders for us to climb out of the hole. When we reached the top, I asked him what he was doing down there. Turns out he actually lived there, but had gotten trapped when the lava started rising. He explained that he heard us talking about Buff Tiger and knew something he thought might help. He said he had heard about a legendary ancient weapon made specifically to fight tigers. That sounds amazing! What is it and where do we find it? He wished us luck but told us he didn't know where it was, but said if we ran into any other animals, we should be sure to ask them if they know anything. After the emu had left, I was feeling more confident that we could do this. Suddenly, I felt a burst of energy and gained 2 more hearts. I even grew a little in size. All right, Chim Chim, we can figure this out. Let's head back to the base. On days 20 to 22, we got back to the base and saw it was surrounded by creepers. Ah, get back, you mutated pig freaks. I quickly charged with my spear and made sure the creepers couldn't damage our base. After the creepers were gone, Chim Chim said she had something she wanted to talk to me about.
You know, I don't think you give yourself enough credit. You're actually much braver than you think. How do you do it?
Thanks, Jim. Maybe I am too hard on myself. When I get scared, there is one thing that always helps me. I always think of my hero. He's a big, banana-loving, necktie-wearing ape who isn't afraid of anything.
He sounds amazing. I think we should build a statue in his honor. That way we can always remember to be brave.
I thought that was a great idea, but before I headed off to get supplies, I finally went ahead and put some torches around the bottom of the tree to stop mobs from spawning there. Yeah, this may have been a little overdue. Then I headed off to the woods to cut down some trees. I wanted the statue to be huge, so I was going to need a ton of wood. I also went out and found some sheep so I could use their wool. I built them a pen and then harvested some cocoa beans so I could dye the sheep brown. This will be the perfect color for the statue. Chim Chim and I then cleared out a space to put the statue. It's going to take a lot of time to build this, but I think it's going to look really cool when we're all done. Once we had finished clearing a space, we started on the first part of the statue. I was glad Chim Chim was there to help. Adventures are always better when they're with a friend. After a lot of hard work, we finally finished the first part. And hey, this is actually the first video I've ever made. If you like it so far, it would mean the world to me if you subscribed and turned on notifications. That way you'll be sure to catch my next adventure. On days 23 to 27, I was in my base when suddenly a zombie in full armor came around the corner. Whoa, where did you come from? Get back, you undead creep. I managed to beat him down with my spear and noticed he dropped some kind of special item. What's this? It looks like some kind of Swiss Army knife. I didn't know anything about this new item, so I decided to head to the desert and test it out. I saw some husks wandering around and gave it a swing. Whoa, this thing can set stuff on fire. There were some rattlesnakes nearby too, so I went and tested it out on them as well. Piece of cake. Then I went and tested it out on some sand and a cactus. It looks like this thing is just as good as a shovel or an axe. A tool this versatile is definitely going to help me in the future. With my test complete, I headed back home. When I arrived at the base, I saw Chim Chim talking to a couple of horses and a donkey. He explained that he heard this was a place safe from Buff Tiger and wanted to stay here too. The more the merrier, my friends. We'd be happy to have you. Our new friends are going to need a place to stay, so I cleared some space at the bottom of the tree and built them a small shelter to live in. That reminded me, I didn't want any more surprise guests climbing into my base, so I broke all of the vines off the trunk of my tree. I am a monkey after all. I definitely didn't need these vines. On days 28 to 32, I went and asked my new horse friend if he knew anything about the legendary weapon the emu had mentioned. He told me he didn't know what the weapon was, but had come across a group of anteaters in a distant forest who were collectors of interesting objects. How can I find these anteaters? I don't know if I can travel that far for that long. He told me that I should hop on his back and he could show me the way. He would get me there in no time. I threw a saddle on the horse's back and we took off into the distance. Chim Chim could keep an eye on things until I got back. After a while, we came to a bridge, but a snapping turtle was blocking the way. Uh-oh, he doesn't look friendly. Let me see if he'll let us pass. Hey there, do you mind letting us by?
Hey you, get out of here! This area is controlled by Buff Tiger. No monkeys allowed.
No monkeys allowed? We'll see about that. I gave him a hit with my spear, but that was a mistake. He was strong. I quickly ran back and hopped on my horse friend's back. Quick, let's jump across using that tree over there. There was a large tree in the middle of the gap, so we hopped on top of it and then jumped to the other side. See you around, slowpoke. We had gotten by, but this land was controlled by Buff Tiger? I'd have to keep an eye out for anything suspicious. On days 33 to 36, we found the group of anteaters hanging out in a forest clearing. Hey guys, I heard you may know something about a legendary item that could defeat Buff Tiger?
Are you looking for me?
Who is that? I looked to my side and standing on top of a tree was Buff Tiger.
So, you think some magical object can defeat me? You haven't even seen a fraction of my power. How about we settle this right here, right now?
With a roar, Buff Tiger hit me. There was no way I could take him on right now. The best thing I could do was get him to leave the area. I had an idea. Over here, you big brute. I quickly ran back toward the cliff.
Where do you think you're going?
When he got close, I hit him with my Swiss Army knife, which caused him to catch on fire. On fire, he had no choice but to jump into the river, which carried him away.
This isn't over. I will find you.
With Buff Tiger gone, I hurried back to the clearing and saw the anteater leader waiting for me.
We knew Buff Tiger was hunting monkeys, but it seems like he is attacking anyone who opposes him.
I'm sorry to hear it. Buff Tiger will be back though, and it's not safe here anymore. You and your family are welcome to come and live at my base.
Thank you, we would love that.
On days 37 to 40, I had arrived back to the base with our new anteater friends. While they checked out the new area, Chim Chim and I went to work building them their own wing of the base. We wanted to be sure they felt comfortable after having to flee from their homes. We soon finished and the anteaters moved into their new space. Once they were moved in, I talked to their leader and asked him if he knew anything about the legendary item.
I have heard of this item before, yes. I don't know what powers it possesses, but I know it can be found in the northern ice fields. The seals there should know more about it.
The ice fields, huh? Sounds cold for a monkey. I'll have to make sure I prepare myself for that journey. But before I could do that, Chim Chim and I got to work on the next part of the statue. Things were really starting to come along, and I felt like maybe if I could finish the statue before I faced Buff Tiger, I could have the courage and bravery of my hero. But while we got a lot done, finishing it was a task for another day. From days 41 to 43, I headed to the mines to do some mining. I was hoping to find some diamonds to upgrade my gear. While I was headed there, one of the anteaters came running up to me from a nearby cave.
Hey, are you looking for diamonds?
I am actually. Do you know where to find them? He explained that there were diamonds in the cave he had just come out of, but there was a cave centipede blocking the way. If I could kill the centipede, he'd let me have all the diamonds. You're scared of a little centipede? I can squish that, no problem. I headed over to the cave and peeked around the corner. The centipede was way bigger than I thought. No wonder the anteater was scared. I saw a stack of blocks I could climb up, so I climbed to the top and took out my bow. I can shoot him from up here where he can't reach me, no problem. I started shooting him with arrows, but he crawled up the wall and hit me. Uh-oh, he can climb walls too. His hits had poisoned me, which brought me down to half a heart. My next durability was also running out. If it broke, I was toast. Luckily, I was able to finish him off. Whew, that was way too close. With the centipede out of the way, I now noticed that there was a big stash of diamonds at the end of the tunnel. Awesome, now I'll finally be able to upgrade my tools to diamond. I quickly mined out all of the diamonds, and then I worked on crafting a diamond pickaxe, sword, axe, and shovel. I also had a few extras, so I made myself a diamond helmet. On days 44 to 49, I left the base to travel to the northern ice fields and find the seals the anteaters had told me about. Oh boy, it's freezing. I hope I can find these guys quickly. I don't know how long I can stay out in this. As I was climbing over some snow, I heard a sound coming from the other side. The seals must be over this hill. I jumped over the hill and was surprised to see a couple of polar bears who immediately started to attack me. I took out my new diamond sword and fought back. I'm much stronger now. You won't be able to take me down. After a few hits, the polar bears were down. Even I was surprised at how quickly I was able to defeat them. Maybe I could be the monkey of legend after all. I kept running across the ice fields when I saw someone getting attacked by a couple polar bears in the distance. As I got closer, I saw it was a huge orangutan fighting them off. By the time I had reached him, he had taken out both of the bears. He was really strong. Hey there, I didn't expect to see another monkey all the way out here. What brings you out this far? The orangutan didn't respond right away, but instead slowly looked me up and down.
It's going to get cold soon. We'll need to build a camp for the night.
Yeah, okay. The orangutan and I quickly worked together to build an igloo. He didn't say much while we worked, and I was starting to get an uneasy feeling about him. Maybe he was just suspicious of me too. I decided I would try and find out. I started up a fire in the igloo, and he surprised me by asking me a question first.
So, what are you doing out here?
I'm looking for the seals. I was told by the monkey shaman that I'm the monkey of legend, and there are rumors of a legendary weapon that can help me defeat Buff Tiger.
The shaman must have lost it. How could a small monkey like you be the monkey of legend? No. I spoke to the shaman and he told me it was my destiny to save the monkeys. It must be your job to help me find the item.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing, but maybe he was right. He was so strong and had taken down 2 polar bears with no weapons at all. I knew the shaman had the wrong monkey. Okay, you're probably right. I'll help you in your quest. I know we need to find the seals, but I don't know where they are.
They're living in a secret city not far from here. We'll go there in the morning.
We both settled down for the night. I couldn't believe I thought I was the monkey of legend. On days 50 to 53, we traveled across the ice fields and soon saw the entrance to the hidden seal village. But before we could get any closer, we ran into the snapping turtle I had seen near the anteater village. You again? How did you get all the way out here? The turtle didn't respond and attacked us. I charged and noticed the orangutan hesitated before joining the fight. But once he joined, we were able to defeat him easily. Thanks for the help. You had me worried for a second there. He didn't respond to that and we headed into the seal village. We soon found the king of the village and asked for his help. He explained to us that although the city was hidden, they too were afraid of Buff Tiger. When we asked him if he knew of the legendary item, he told us that it wasn't located here. Instead, he had a map to its location, which he shared with us. Thanks for sharing this with us. We'll find the item and save everyone. From days 54 to 57, we traveled back to my base and I saw that Chim Chim had found a lot more monkeys. I'm so glad we're able to help all these monkeys. Chim Chim and I got to work on expanding the base. As we worked, I told Chim Chim about everything that had happened. When I told her how the orangutan was actually the monkey of legend, she didn't believe me.
The shaman has never been wrong before. I don't know if I trust that orangutan. I believe in you, Zozo. Keep an eye out for anything suspicious.
While we were talking, the anteater I'd saved from the centipede showed up again.
Zozo, I need your help again. My little brother was playing in the jungle and got trapped in a jungle temple. Can you rescue him?
I didn't have a moment to spare. Jungle temples were full of traps that could hurt a little anteater. I ran into the jungle and soon found the temple. I could hear the little guy trapped inside. Don't worry, I'm coming for you. As I made my way through the temple, I carefully broke the traps and managed to reach him. And just like that, the little anteater was free. All right, buddy, there you go. The little anteater ran out and I decided to check the chest for any good loot. Whoa, check it out, diamonds. And what's this? A diamond destroyer? This will help me break a bunch of blocks at the same time and does major damage. Nice. On days 58 to 62, Chim Chim and I got to work on our hero statue. It was really starting to come along and I was happy with how it looked. Every time we finished more, I couldn't help but feel a little more brave. I guess that mattered a little less with the orangutan around though, but it was good for me anyway. Speaking of the orangutan, I hadn't seen him in a while. What could he be up to? I was heading back to the base when I saw it was surrounded by snow leopards. These are followers of Buff Tiger. How do they find the base? I ran up and started attacking all the leopards. How did you find us? Take this! There were so many of them, but they didn't stand a chance against my new weapon. I started to take them out one by one. I had the last leopard cornered when I heard one of the chests in my base opening. Someone was in my base! I quickly climbed up the tree as the last snow leopard ran away. When I reached the top, I saw the orangutan was stealing the legendary item map from my chest. He must have told Buff Tiger where my base was. Why are you doing this? You were the chosen one.
I'm sorry, Zozo, but I lied to you about being the monkey of legend. I needed you to trust me so you could lead me back to your base. Buff Tiger said he would kill my family if I didn't help him find you. I've seen how brave you are. You must be the monkey of legend.
You don't have to do this. Stay and help me. We can defeat Buff Tiger if we work together.
I can't lose my family. I have to bring this map to Buff Tiger and try to save them. I'm sorry.
And before I could stop him, he jumped over the edge of the treehouse and escaped into the woods. Wait a second. If he told them about my base, he must have told them about the Hidden Seal base too. From days 63 to 66, I ran across the land and into the ice fields to find the Seal Village, but it was too late. Oh no, the village is in ruins. Buff Tiger must have beaten me here. As I ran into the village, I could see that the village was destroyed. Then I saw the Seal King, and he was greatly wounded.
Zozo, when we told Buff Tiger we didn't have the map, he attacked. He forced us to tell us where the map led to. Hurry and go to the Badland Mines. He'll be going there to try and find the weapon first.
I'll go find it and I'll stop him. You have my word. Just then, the snow leopard from before jumped down and killed the Seal King. No, how could you? I pulled out my destroyer and quickly finished him off. I couldn't waste any more time. I had to hurry and get to the mines. From days 67 to 70, I traveled to the Badlands to locate the mines. As I was getting closer, I saw someone entering the mines. It was Buff Tiger. He was going to beat me to the treasure. I can't let him beat me again. As I got closer to the entrance, something jumped down from a nearby cliff. It was a giant rocky roller. Get out of my way, I'm coming in. The rocky roller took one look at me and charged. I took a swing, but he knocked me back a lot farther than I thought he would. I don't know if I can beat this guy. I kept trying to hit him, but he took down nearly all of my health. Just then, I saw someone coming over the hill. It was the orangutan! He punched the rocky roller and they started to fight. The rocky roller hit him several times, but the orangutan was able to hit him more. But before the orangutan could deliver the final blow, the rocky roller was able to escape. You're back!
I'm sorry for everything, Zozo. When I returned to Buff Tiger, he didn't release my family and tried to capture me too. I ran away and knew I had to come help you.
Boy, am I glad you showed up. Stay here and heal up. I'll see if I can still get to the item inside. On days 71 to 74, I snuck into the mines to see if I could tell where Buff Tiger had gone. I looked around and saw there were a bunch of lanterns down one of the hallways. Buff Tiger must have put these here. This should lead me right to him. I followed the lanterns until I came to a dead end, full of treasure, chests, and some cobwebs. This must be where the item is kept. I can't imagine it's still in here. I took a look in the chest. There was some good treasure, but no special item. Buff Tiger had beaten me to it again. What was I gonna do now? I had no idea where Buff Tiger's base was. I saw a tunnel leading out, which Buff Tiger must have used to escape. I made my way back out of the cave and met back up with the orangutan. Come on, let's head back to the base so we can help you heal and come up with a plan. On days 75 to 78, Chim Chim and I worked on a shelter for the orangutan. He was a big guy, so we needed to make sure he had a nice place to stay. Once we were finished, the orangutan called me over to him.
I'm sorry again for everything, Zozo. Here, I think these supplies will be useful for you.
He threw down a Heart of the Sea, shark teeth, and prismarine blocks. Wow, thank you! I know just what to do with these! I headed over to a crafting table and used the supplies to make myself a shield of the deep. Nothing is going to get through this. Next, I headed over to my farm to get some supplies. As I was harvesting my crops, the rocky roller came out of nowhere and attacked me again. You again? I'm ready for you this time. By using my new shield, I was able to block his attacks and hit him with my hammer. He was still tough, but with my new tools, I beat him easily this time. And stay down! After the fight, I felt some serious power coursing through me, and I turned into a giant silverback gorilla. Whoa, I'm huge now, and look, I have 20 hearts. I was so excited, I almost didn't notice the Rocky Roller had left a book behind. I picked it up and looked inside. It looks like these are orders from Buff Tiger. In the back of the book, it also had coordinates to the Rocky Roller's base. If I go there, I might be able to find out where Buff Tiger is keeping all the monkeys. I also noticed he had dropped a redstone torch. I better hang on to this. It could be helpful. On days 79 to 84, I used the book to travel to the Rocky Roller's base. I arrived at the coordinates and there was nothing there. There's nothing here, but these are the right coordinates. Did I miss something? I took a look around and saw there was a lever hiding behind some rocks. I pulled the lever and a secret door opened. Bingo, this must be it. After I entered the base, I heard someone walk up behind me. It was a lion. He must be an ally of Buff Tiger.
Hang on there, I'm not looking for a fight. I want to defeat Buff Tiger too.
Why would you want to do that? Aren't you cats in it together?
Not at all. In fact, tigers are one of our greatest enemies. Help me search this base and we can bring him down together.
He didn't look like he wanted to fight, so I agreed to work together. We both entered the base to have a look around. There wasn't a whole lot down here and it didn't seem like there was anything of use. Then I noticed some redstone markings on the wall. Wait a second, the Rocky Roller dropped a redstone torch. I wonder what happens if I put it here. I placed the redstone torch and the blocks moved, revealing a secret room. What could be in here? Inside the room there was a book. I opened it and saw there were some weird symbols inside. These are coordinates to Buff Tiger's base, but someone needs to decipher the code. I know someone who can help. Come on, let's get out of here. But as I started to leave the base, the lion hit the lever and closed the doors before I could get out. Hey, what's the big idea? Open the door.
I can't let you do that, monkey. It's true, I want to defeat Buff Tiger, but that's so I can be the Lion King. All monkeys should be serving me, not him.
We'll see about that. I took out my destroyer and shield and started fighting him. With my new strength, he didn't stand a chance. He got some hits in, but I was able to strike the fatal blow in no time. On days 85 to 89, I headed to the monkey shaman's hut. I knew he would be able to translate the coordinates. When I arrived, the shaman opened his door and walked out.
Zozo, is it really you? My, how you have grown since we last met.
I need your help. I found the coordinates to Buff Tiger's base, but it's in some kind of strange language. Can you read it?
Ah, that's because these are coordinates for a place not of this world. A different dimension entirely.
Not of this world? But he's a tiger. They live in this world.
He may look like a tiger now, but he's hiding a dark secret. Take this tiger pearl and build a portal. It will take you where you need to go.
I took the pearl and started heading back to the base. What did he mean, a dark secret? I guess I would find out soon enough. From days 90 to 94, I headed deep underground and found some obsidian and some copper. While I was down there, I also came across some diamonds. This is just what I needed. I can use this to finish making my armor. Once I had all of the supplies I needed, I headed up to the surface and crafted the rest of my diamond armor. Then I smelted all the copper and made some copper blocks. Then finally, I equipped the rest of my diamond armor. Now I'm ready for a fight. Then I headed outside and put together the special portal. I was all geared up to travel to Buff Tiger's base, but there were still a few more things I needed to finish first. From days 95 to 96, I grabbed Chim Chim and we worked on finishing the statue. I felt like I couldn't face Buff Tiger without finishing it first. This was a monkey I looked up to, and it felt like this was one of the final steps of my preparation. Soon, the statue was complete.
This looks amazing, Zozo. I think your monkey hero would be proud. I'll give you a minute to take it in.
I think so too. Thanks for all of your help, Chim. I couldn't have done it without you. Chim Chim headed back to the base and I took a long look at the finished statue. Suddenly, I heard a voice coming from the statue.
Zozo, I've been watching your progress. You have a big fight ahead of you, but you can do it. You're a braver monkey than I ever was. You are the monkey of legend.
Thank you. That means so much to me. I feel like I've finally gotten strong enough to be worthy of the title.
You were always worthy. Remember, it's not about how big you are on the outside, but how big you are on the inside. Good luck.
Tomorrow, I'm taking the fight to Buff Tiger's front door. On days 97 to 98, I took time to visit with all the animals who had joined our new home. Many of them were scared, but I assured them I would find their friends and families and bring them home. Secretly though, I was feeling nervous because I still hadn't gotten the legendary weapon. Finally, I was ready to light the portal, but as I walked up to it, Chim Chim jumped down in front of me. What's wrong, Chim?
I can't let you go in there alone. I want to help.
I know. I wish you could come with me, but if anything happens to me, everyone here is going to need a strong leader to help them move on. We can't risk losing you too. Chim Chim nodded and moved out of the way. Before I go through, is there anything else you need to say?
Yes, everyone who is watching the video should like it and subscribe. There are going to be so many more adventures, and we want everyone to be able to follow along.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Chim. Well, here goes nothing. I took a deep breath and threw the tiger pearl into the portal. On day 99, I suddenly appeared on the other side of the portal, standing in a dense jungle. I looked out over the treetops and could see a sprawling city before me. I made my way down the trees and into the city streets. Look at all of this. There's no way a tiger built this. He must have built this with all the monkeys he took prisoner. As I wandered through the city, I saw a sign pointing to the prison. That must be where the monkeys are. I made my way there and soon saw the large prison building. I climbed up the wall and ran into a snow leopard on top. I quickly finished him off and then jumped into the prison yard below. I could see all the monkeys in cages. Don't worry everyone, I'll break you out. I kept fighting the guards until they were all destroyed. Then I quickly started breaking all the cages. Go free everyone, you need to all leave before Buff Tiger shows up. As I broke the rest of the cages, all I could think about was finding the legendary weapon. I had to find it before I faced Buff Tiger, but at least now all the monkeys were free. On day 100, I saw a sign pointing to the palace. That must be Buff Tiger's palace. I'll bet he keeps a legendary item in there. I made my way into the palace and took out a couple of guards. The place was nearly empty. Buff Tiger must be out capturing more monkeys. I then made my way into the basement where I saw a banana katana floating over a pedestal. Could that be what I think it is? Legendary banana katana, infused with potassium. This is it! I heard a tiger growl outside. Buff Tiger, you must be back. I walked outside and saw Buff Tiger was waiting for me, with an ocelot by his side. Buff Tiger, this ends today. I have the ultimate weapon.
Huh, you really think that rusty artifact can do anything to me? Did you even look at its durability?
I looked closer and saw that he was right. The weapon was nearly destroyed. But this was a weapon of legend, wasn't it? Surely it was stronger than it looked.
Get him.
The ocelot charged. I swung the banana katana and killed the ocelot in one hit, but the weapon broke.
Haha, you see what happens when you believe in fairy tales? I was going to let you work for me, but I think I will just end you instead.
Suddenly, everything began to shake, and Buff Tiger transformed into an even stronger tiger. This must have been the dark secret the shaman was talking about. How am I going to defeat him? I'm not strong enough. Suddenly, I remembered the words of my hero. It's not about how big you are on the outside, it's how big you are on the inside. He was right. The true power had been in me all along. I was ready. Alright, Buff Tiger, let's dance. We charged at each other and exchanged blows. He was incredibly strong, but by using my shield and special powers, I was able to stay in the fight.
Why won't you die, you scum?
You messed with the wrong monkey. I could feel myself getting stronger with every hit I landed. I was winning. I'm sending you into another dimension, one where you can't come back. With a final strike, Buff Tiger was finally defeated. After Buff Tiger had disappeared, I climbed the hill and saw some monkeys celebrating. Finally, and I'll go home.
On day 1, I spawned in as a kangaroo. Hoo-ha, I'm a tiny little kangaroo. Look how bouncy I am. I was so busy bouncing, I barely noticed the little Tasmanian devil that started to attack me. Back away! I swung my fist and punched that little baby right out of here. Hot dang, I'm tiny, but I can pack a punch. I took a look around for some trees to start my adventures when a much bigger Tasmanian devil came out. Uh-oh, looks like I made the dad angry. I gotta hop on out of here. I ran away as the Tasmanian devil looked angrily on. If I could find my kangaroo family, I knew I would be safe. As I hopped around, I could see I was all alone, so I made myself a simple shelter to spend the night. Maybe tomorrow I can find my family. On day 2, I headed back over to where I spawned in and saw the Tasmanian devil was nowhere to be seen. Looks like the coast is clear. Let's get that wood. I started punching the trees and had soon gathered a good amount of wood. Using the wood, I managed to make myself some wood tools that would come in handy later. Turned out that later was now, as a snake came out of nowhere and attacked. Where did you come from? I swung at the snake, hitting him right in the face. It didn't take long, and I was able to take him out. Not bad, my guy. I looked over and saw an emu was watching. Why don't you come over here and let me get a sample of that power? You wanna fight me? Just box. Let's go. I didn't see the harm in a little training, so I started swinging. The emu was a good fighter and had clearly been well trained. After a bit of sparring, he stopped. Yeah, you've got some real talent, but you've got lots to learn. Let me introduce you to my trainer. He'll have you becoming a real fighter in no time. I agreed and followed him. As we walked, he introduced himself as Ernie. We soon arrived at an old rundown gym. As we entered inside, I soon saw who his trainer was. It was an old turtle. Master Balboa. I ran into this kangaroo, and I think he's got some real promise. The old turtle looked me up and down. I don't see much here. I won't train him. Oh, come on. Maybe he can help with the silence? Okay, he can stay here. Be ready for training at sunrise. I don't know why this Master Balboa was so hard on me, but I agreed to be trained and went to bed in the gym. On day 3, I was woken up by Master Balboa. Already sleeping in, I see. Beggars can't be choosers. Up, up. You will start by cleaning this place. I took a look around the gym and saw that there was a lot of work to be done. There was a lot of stuff that needed to be cleared out, and there was a lot of room for improvement. I wonder how long it had been since someone had cleaned this place up. Once I had done a fair bit of cleaning, I decided that I didn't want to be sleeping on the floor anymore, so I made myself a small room for me to sleep in. It wasn't anything fancy, just a place to rest. After I had finished, Master Balboa came up to me. "To too good to sleep on the floor, are you? Every student sleeps on the floor and earns his dues. I don't know why you think you are different. I'm not trying to offend anyone. I just thought it might be a little more comfortable. One can never do the uncomfortable from a place of comfort. You do well to remember that strength is forged in the trials of fire. Man, this guy was always speaking in weird sayings. Just then, a mountain tortoise appeared. Uh-oh, this guy looks like he wants to hurt me. Let's get out of here. No, Zozo, this is your fire. Fight him and forge the strength you need to win. Okay, I'll give it a shot. The tortoise was tough. He was really hitting hard and I wasn't feeling confident I could win. That's when I could hear Master Balboa shouting at me. A tortoise's strength doesn't come from the hardness of his shell, but from the will of his heart. What? Don't hit the shell, hit soft spots. Oh, right. I focused on the tortoise's neck and started landing some good hits. In no time, he was taken out. After he had disappeared, I felt some adrenaline coursing through me and I leveled up into an even stronger kangaroo. I have even more hearts now too. Ernie was really impressed and shouted his encouragement to me. I thought I even saw Master Balboa crack a smile. Just maybe. On days 4 to 5, I found myself facing off with Ernie. My skills had improved, but my emu friend really knew how to fight. As we fought, I asked him some questions. So have you seen any other kangaroos around? I can't be the only one. Ernie didn't say anything, but I could tell he had something to say. Master Balboa spoke up instead. There are many animals who have trained here. One of these animals was a legendary kangaroo. He was one of the greatest fighters to pass through this gym. Even he, among many others, was unable to defeat the buff bear. All have failed. I hate that buff bear. I've seen too many of my friends fall to him. Nothing will stop me from destroying him. Patience, Ernie. Rage is a cancer that can blind even the clearest of vision. Ernie calmed down, but I could still sense his frustration beneath the surface. I felt his anger though. That buff bear was going to pay. On days 6 to 8, I woke up with an idea. If we're really going to take down this buff bear, we're gonna need better training facilities. I think I can help with that. After I had gathered some stone, I was suddenly attacked by the Tasmanian devil for my first day. Joke was on him though. I was even stronger now. Let's see how you like this. I swung my fist and really let him have it. I don't think he was expecting me to be so strong, and I was able to knock him out in no time. Someone bit off more than they could chew. I grabbed a little more sand, then headed back to the base. Now that I had a bunch of materials, I used them to start improvements to the gym. I felt like I had a strong purpose and a clear mind. Master Balboa would be proud of that. After a lot of sweat and hard work, all the improvements were complete, at least for now. On days 9 to 10, Ernie and I were out for a jog. The problem was, Ernie was so much faster than me, he had to keep waiting for me to catch up. He didn't seem to mind though.
What a slowpoke.
I looked over and saw a monkey was watching us. Hey, that's not a very nice thing to say.
You're right. I'm not very nice. I'm nicer than that dump you call a gym, though.
I'm sorry. Who are you?
Why do you care? You're not gonna be around much longer anyway.
What do you mean?
My Master Buff Bear is gonna wipe you and all your little friends out soon enough. You're all just a bunch of weaklings.
Buff Bear? You think Buff Bear can beat us? Ernie jumped to the monkey and they started to fight. Yeah, get him, Ernie! The monkey and Ernie were pretty evenly matched, but I believed in Ernie. Just then, someone else came running into the fight. It was the Buff Bear! Ernie, watch out! Ernie was outnumbered. I had to help. Heh. More Balboa students for me to destroy. You guys are pathetic. We were holding on. Buff Bear was strong. I was starting to get worried about Ernie. Stop this at once! Master Balboa had arrived. He seemed to catch us all off guard as everyone stopped fighting. Balboa, crawled out of your shell to train some more weaklings, I see. Bear, your strength is your weakness. Are you two really listening to this old fool? Don't insult him. You're a real jerk. I challenge you to a fight. Ernie? No. Yeah, I'll fight you, little guy. Looks like you better go with your babysitter. You know where to find me. Master Balboa then pulled us away as Buff Bear and his monkey henchman left. Ernie, I told you your anger could be your downfall. Master Balboa, I've been training so hard. I know I can beat him. Master Balboa didn't seem so sure, but didn't say anything else. If you're gonna go through with this, you'll need all the help you can get. I'll do what I can to help you prepare. On days 11 to 12, I decided to continue doing some upgrades to the gym. Ernie was going to need every advantage, so I made sure to give the gym the improvements it needed to give him the edge. It's going to take more than a nice gym to win this fight, so we better get some upgraded gear. I took off and soon found myself in a forest. I headed into a nearby cave and quickly found some iron. Just what I was looking for. I had collected the iron I needed when suddenly I was attacked by a sunbird. What the? Where did you come from? I tried to hit him, but he was too tough. My health was starting to drain though, so I had to get out of there. I ran off. How could I beat him? Then I had an idea. I climbed up to get higher than the sunbird, then jumped off. Heads up! By doing this, I was able to land the final blow. That's when I saw he had dropped some items. Oh, nice! These will be perfect for the base.
You saved me!
Confused, I turned and saw Platypus was talking to me.
That sunbird wouldn't leave me alone.
Well, he'll leave you alone now, but it is pretty dangerous out here. Do you have a safe place to stay?
No, not really. I'm all alone out here.
Well, why don't you come live at my training gym with me?
Oh, I've always wanted to be stronger. That sounds great.
We headed off for the gym. We soon arrived, and I had a chat with Master Balboa. Zozo, I'm not running a charity here. You can't just invite anyone you meet to live here. But he was all alone. I can build him his own place. He won't be a bother. I'm sure of it. Well, these are dangerous times. Very well. I quickly got to work putting together a room for the platypus, whose name was Perry. I wasn't sure how much training Master Balboa was going to let him do, but in any case, he would have a place to stay. I also took some time to build myself a crafting area. Once my crafting area was set up, I smelted all the iron I had gathered. With all the iron smelted, I then took all of the iron ingots and used them to make myself a fancy new set of iron tools. I also used them to make myself some iron armor. The iron armor is still a little big for me though, so I'll save it for later. On days 13 to 15, I woke up to a strange noise. We were being attacked by a gang of monkeys. Buff Bear's cronies. We've got to stop them. I jumped into the battle, hitting as many monkeys as I could. I couldn't believe Buff Bear would send a hit squad like this. I was taking some of them out, but they just kept coming. Suddenly, Buff Bear entered, and the fight was really on. Ernie and Master Balboa tried to fight him off, but it looked like they were in real trouble. Then, out of nowhere, I was trapped in a cage. All I could do was watch as Buff Bear attacked my friends. Master Balboa took a hard hit. Ernie was now in danger. This looked like the end for him. No! Oh, wait, it was just a dream. Thank goodness. I was still feeling nervous about it though, so I went to talk to Ernie. I told him about my dream and that I didn't think it'd be a good idea for him to go through with the fight. Ernie just laughed it off, saying I was being paranoid. He was sure he could win the fight. I hope so, but keep an eye out for any funny business. On days 16 to 19, I woke up and saw that Master Balboa and Ernie were already hard at work training. Whoops, Master Balboa isn't going to like that I slept in again. I was still feeling a little nervous about Ernie's fight though, so I went to talk to him about it. He told me that I needed to stop worrying. That's when Master Balboa started to talk to me. Zozo, enough jibber jabber. You already slept too late. It's time to train. Yeah, sorry. I had a pretty bad dream. What's on the schedule for today? Master Balboa led us over to a corner of the gym. There's a spider infestation down there that I don't want to deal with. The two of you can get down there and clean it up. There's more equipment on the way, and we need space for it. Oh man. All right, we're on it. Ernie and I broke all the boards, as well as the spider webs. Master Balboa was right. It was a mess down here. We got right to work destroying all of the spiders in our way. I wondered how long they had been down here. I really hope Master Balboa knows what he's doing. This is nasty. Soon enough, the spiders were all cleared out. We then got to work patching up all of the broken sections. This place was in rough shape, but we were sure we could get it looking nice in no time. As we finished, Master Balboa came down to meet us. Zozo, there's a delivery waiting for us. Go ahead and bring everything down. I ran upstairs and greeted the delivery man. He handed me the boxes of equipment and I took everything downstairs. Inside of the boxes was a bunch of exercise equipment. Well boys, hop to it. Ernie and I unloaded all of the equipment and got everything set up. There were a lot of good areas to train in now. Just in time too, because Master Balboa was ready for us. Time to hit the equipment. Ernie and I ran around the gym following Master Balboa's instructions. It was a lot of hard work, but Ernie had a big fight ahead and we really needed to push him to be his best. The new equipment was great too. I was definitely going to be sore tomorrow. As we finished our workout, I could really feel my heart pumping. Suddenly, I grew into an even bigger kangaroo and gained more hearts. Whoa, I feel great! As we all celebrated my new strength, Perry came down the stairs.
Wow, you've grown. I wanted to find you guys as I know something that might help. There's some powerful boxing gloves at a far-off land that makes the user punch even harder than normal.
It's just what we could use. Perry explained where we needed to go. I told Ernie to keep training, and I would go find the gloves. On days 20 to 22, I headed out to go find the special gloves. Perry told me where to go, but mentioned it was very dangerous. As I got closer, I could see why. This outpost is crawling with desert raiders. This isn't going to be easy. I snuck my way up to the front door as a patrol of raiders walked by. Maybe I could sneak in. I moved further into the base, trying to hide behind things. I'd gotten much bigger though, and that was harder to do. They soon spotted me and attacked. Looks like I'm gonna have to fight my way through this one. There were a lot of raiders, but with my new strength, it wasn't too much of a challenge to knock them out of the way. I had to be careful though, because if I got too cocky, they could easily overrun me with their numbers and take me down. Soon I had fought my way to the top of the base. As I moved to take the power gloves, I heard a noise. A buff raider was looking at me and charged. Bring it on! This guy was no ordinary raider. He was stronger than the others and had a different weapon. As he hit me, I even caught on fire. Whoa, tone it down, big guy. The fire hurt, but I had to keep fighting. I couldn't let Ernie down. I kept on punching and hitting until finally I landed the final blow. The power gloves are all mine now. I walked up to the gloves and picked them up. They fit like a glove. As I left the base, another raider tried to attack me, but I punched him so hard he went flying. The other guy simply turned and tried to run away. I've got the power now. As I arrived back at the base, I could see Ernie outside training. I could tell he was feeling a bit nervous. Hey Ernie, are you feeling nervous? I'm here to support you no matter what. There's no shame in calling it off. No, I can't call it off. I've been waiting for this my whole life. All right, if you say so. In any case, I have some good news. I got the power gloves. These should give you a serious leg up. I tossed the gloves over to him, and he was super excited about it. I could tell this really raised his spirits. I was still nervous about him doing the fight, but there was no way I was going to change his mind. On days 23 to 26, it was time for the big fight. We all made our way to the arena and soon arrived. Ernie was in high spirits, and we were feeling pretty good. Maybe he could win this thing after all. As we approached, the monkey from before stopped us.
Hi, you chumps. Buff Bear wants to make this fight a little more interesting.
Oh boy, what's that?
This fight won't be to the death, just until someone gives up. If the emu here wins, which he won't, Master Bear will let any of the captured birds go. But if he loses, he'll be Master Bear's servant for life.
There's something fishy about this, Ernie. I don't think it's a good idea.
Tell your boss I'll take it, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the birds go free.
The monkey chuckled and went to tell his boss. Later, Ernie had stepped into the ring, and we could hear something up above us. Buff Bear had hung cages all around the arena, cages that were filled with all of Ernie's friends. This guy was a sicko. An announcer stepped into the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another Rumble Fantastical! In the red corner, we have the powerful, the mighty, the undefeated Buff Bear!
The crowd went absolutely nuts with cheering. He was definitely going to have the home field advantage.
And in the blue corner is an emu.
The announcer walked off. You got this, Ernie.
Make us proud, son.
There was a ding, and the fight was on. Ernie and Buff Bear jumped at each other. They were both landing some heavy hits. Come on, Ernie, show him who's boss. Ernie was swinging his hardest, and it looked like he was actually winning. I bet Buff Bear wasn't expecting those power gloves.
What's wrong, Bear? Scared you finally met your end?
Ew, I guess I'll start trying now.
Buff Bear started hitting even harder than before. He wasn't bluffing. He had just been toying with Ernie. Ernie, watch out! Buff Bear was really landing blows now. All Ernie could do was try to defend, but it was no use. This fight wasn't going to last much longer.
Okay, I yield. You win. I'll be your servant.
Please, I have enough servants. You think I'm not going to give my friends a good show?
No, you made a deal.
Oops, guess I lied.
Ernie, watch out! Buff Bear swung his claws and destroyed Ernie for good.
No!
The crowd went wild as Buff Bear celebrated with them. Oh, let's get him!
No, Zozo, I can't lose you too. Quick, grab the gloves and let's get out of here.
I jumped into the arena and collected the power gloves. Master Balboa and I got out of there as fast as we could. On days 27 to 31, we had made it back to the gym. I couldn't believe Ernie was gone. We'd only known each other for a short time, but it felt like we had become brothers. I went outside and saw Master Balboa looking off into the distance. We'll get our revenge on Buff Bear. I know it. Master Balboa sighed.
Zozo, it is impossible. I can't keep letting this cycle repeat itself. Ernie said the same thing to me when our last student was defeated, and that student said the same thing when we lost the one before. I am a failure as a teacher. I should just close up the gym and be done.
No, you can't do that. I've learned so much from you, and I know I have much more to learn. If you're gone, it will be like I've lost everyone. Master Balboa thought about it for a moment.
Fine, we can continue, but you must promise you won't challenge that bear. Training is for the strengthening of the self, not the domination of others.
I smiled. He was back to himself. I promised to train for my own betterment, not for the destruction of others. I meant what I said, but there was something inside of me that was telling me I needed to avenge Ernie. I didn't feel like I needed to mention that to Master Balboa though, so I changed the subject. I think we should do something to honor Ernie, and I know just what to do. Using some of the supplies from the gym, I got to work building a statue. I had a special idea in mind, and I think you'll like it when I'm done. It wasn't too much longer, and the first part of the statue was complete. On days 32 to 35, I went to have a chat with Perry. Even if we weren't going to challenge the Buff Bear and his monkeys, we needed to be strong enough to defend ourselves. Perry said he was ready to begin training, and I decided it would be good to go and try to recruit more animals. I headed out into the land and soon came across an abandoned farm. I didn't see anyone, so I decided to go ahead and grab some of the nearby crops. As I was finishing up, I heard a cry in the distance. What was that? The sound got closer. That's when I saw a baby pig was under attack by a group of cougars.
Help me, help me!
I charged in, punching the cougars. Leave him alone! The cougars must have been so hungry, they didn't even pay attention to me. The poor little piggy was really in trouble. I took a few swings, and soon, all of the cougars were gone. Hey there, buddy. Are you okay?
Yes, but no. This was my family's farm. My family was captured and taken away by the henchmen of Buff Bear. I was next.
Thank goodness you came along.
Happy to help, but it's not safe out here. Please, come stay at my gym with me and my friends. You'll be much safer there. Pig was thrilled at this idea. Oh, and his name was Wilbur. On days 36 to 39, Wilbur and I had arrived back at the base. I brought him inside and introduced him to Perry, who was hard at work training on a dummy. Perry, I'd like you to meet Wilbur. He's going to be staying with us, and I thought he'd make for a great training partner. Perry and Wilbur started chatting and hit it off right away. Then they ran off to go do some training. While they were doing that, I decided to go outside and work on the farm. Using the crops I had collected, I planted everything to give us a nice food supply. With the farm set up, I then got right to work building Wilbur his own room. The poor guy was missing his family, but at least we could give him a home here in the meantime. Once the room was complete, I headed back to the ring to guide Perry and Wilbur in a practice fight. The two of them weren't very strong yet, but we would get them there. Master Balboa came over.
Ah, and who do we have here?
I introduced Wilbur to Master Balboa, who seemed happy to see him there. He didn't seem to be quite as strict as he was when I first arrived.
But remember, the things you learn here are for your defense only, not for attacking others. Speaking of which, I have something to share with you, Zozo.
What is it?
If we are to be prepared for an attack, we must have every advantage available to us. There is a powerful defensive item that you need to find.
Master Balboa then explained the direction I needed to go. He wasn't sure of its exact location, but another animal in the area may have heard of it. I set off right away. On days 40 to 43, I was still traveling across the land toward the special item. Off in the distance, I could see a watering hole. Oh, perfect, I could use a drink. As I got closer though, I was stopped by a gazelle.
Hang on, you can't go over there.
Why not?
Don't you see that lion? He attacks anyone who tries to drink. He's a real jerk.
A real jerk, huh? I've got a thing for getting rid of jerks.
Well, if you can get rid of him, I'll give you something good.
Sounds like a deal. Hang on a second. I hopped over to the lion. Without a word, he attacked. Wow, they weren't joking. You are a jerk. This guy was tough, but he had no training. His fighting style was messy, and he just tried to swing mindlessly at me. I bobbed and weaved, landing blows. He still got some hits in, but in the end, I managed to take him out.
You did it. Wow, that was really impressive. Here, take this.
The gazelle tossed out a specialized pickaxe. As I looked closer, I could see it was enchanted with efficiency and fortune. Whoa, this is a massive help. Thank you. I ran off and soon found a cave. I had to put this thing to use right away. As I explored the cave, I soon found what I was looking for. Diamonds. The perfect thing at a time like this. I'm going to be able to upgrade all of my gear. My pockets were soon full of diamonds, and I headed out to keep looking for the special item. On days 54 to 49, I was finishing up my diamond mining. Suddenly, I heard a noise behind me. What the heck is that? A giant two-legged monster was looking at me. It attacked. I had never seen a monster like this before, but it was really powerful. I was starting to get worried because my health was really dropping. It doesn't look like I'm gonna make it. Just then, a colorful warrior came stepping in and finished it off. Whoa, you're super strong. Where did you come from?
Technically, I came from 1,000 years ago.
Whoa, are you some kind of time traveler?
No, not exactly. In my lifetime, I was cursed by some evil witches, and now I can't rest until I've defeated the ancient ghost warrior.
Ghost warrior? That sounds spooky. What is that, and where do you find one?
Follow me.
I took off after the ancient warrior, and we soon arrived at an old temple. As we got closer, I could see there was some kind of magical force field blocking our way in. The ancient warrior explained that in order to bring down the shield, we'd have to defeat 3 nearby ghost shamans.
I have come here many times, but I'm not strong enough on my own. If I could get your help, there would be something in it for you too. Inside of this temple is a powerful defensive item that can only be used by the living.
That sounds like the item I've been searching for. I'm in. On days 50 to 53, the warrior and I soon saw the fire tower looming in the distance. On top, the fire ghost shaman was waiting. We charged up the tower, fighting blazes along the way. Out of the way, hotheads! The warrior was really impressed with my skills. We soon reached the top. The fire ghost shaman took one look at us, then attacked. We had an intense battle while he set off explosions around us. It was hard to believe that there were 2 more of these guys. With the combined power of the warrior and me though, we managed to finally defeat him. After he disappeared, we noticed that he had dropped a key. Oh, we can use this to unlock the barrier. 2 more to go. Sometime later, we arrived at the ice tower. It was a huge ice spike protruding out of an icy wasteland. It was quite the sight to behold. Let's get to it. This time, the tower was covered in skeletal warriors. They were vicious in their attacks, and at times I was scared they were going to knock me off the tower. We got lucky though, and managed to make it to the top. Problem was, there was no one there. Where is he? Do you think someone defeated him already? Without warning, some ice in the wall broke, and the ice shaman came charging out. Quite the entrance there, sir. The ice shaman put up a big fight. As we battled, he shot ice spikes up from the ground, which were really scary. A hit from those would do some serious damage. We were tough though and managed to take him out. He too dropped a key, which we picked up. Later, we arrived at the final tower, the Storm Tower. It too was an impressive sight, towering over the surrounding land. We didn't have time to be impressed though. We had a key to collect. We charged up the tower, racing to the top. Protecting the tower was a small army of lightning allays. They would shriek as they flew in, trying to hit us. These guys are freaking me out. It took a lot of effort, but at long last,
fast we had almost reached the top. There was just one problem. Looks like we've got some jumping to do. Hopefully we don't fall off. The platforms had been covered in water and were a little slick, but we were doing okay. That's when a small storm cloud opened up and started shooting lightning at us. You can't be serious. We kept hopping across the platforms, doing our best to avoid the lightning strikes, which, as you can imagine, is not the easiest thing to do. Yet somehow we managed to reach the top. There was a burst of lightning and the storm shaman appeared, floating on a thundercloud. Let's show this prehistoric storm junkie who they're messing with. The shaman started to fight us, shooting lightning as he went. Come on, man, cool it with the lightning. He was quick, but not too quick. We hit him again and again, taking some hits of our own. It was a close battle, but in the end, we were able to come out on top. And there's the last key. We picked it up. It was time to let our warrior rest. On days 54 to 57, we had returned to the temple. The warrior stepped forward and placed the keys in the elemental circle. As he did so, each key floated in place until at long last, the barrier was destroyed. We entered the temple and went up the stairs. As we reached the top, I could see the item floating on a table. The eye of the tiger. That must be it. We ran forward to grab it, but heard a strange noise, stopping in our tracks. What was that? Suddenly, the ground broke and we fell down a long hole. Oof. Where are we?
Who dares enter my tomb?
Sitting in front of us on a throne was the ancient ghost warrior. He was dressed in a tiger skin. There was no way I was going to get that item without defeating this guy. All right, Catman, let's dance. Ghost warrior charged. The battle was fierce and everyone was getting in some hard hits. The thing is though, we were winning. For an endless being, you aren't very tough. We landed a pretty heavy blow, which sent the ghost warrior running back to his throne.
Feel the wrath of the elemental beings.
Suddenly, a small force field appeared, and the 3 elemental shamans came running through the portals. These guys again? We can do this! It was hard enough fighting these guys one-on-one, but all 3 at once was a real challenge. Before, we had always outnumbered them, so this was a tough fight. Luckily, these reanimated warriors weren't as tough as the ones in the towers, as they didn't seem to be able to use their special attacks. Hang on, buddy, we can beat them! Slowly but surely, we were able to start taking them out. As one would fall, the force field would weaken, until finally, they were all gone.
I will end this!
The ghost warrior attacked us again, but it was clear we were too powerful. He tried his best, but soon, he was destroyed.
Thank you for your help, Zozo. Please, go and claim the Eye of the Tiger. I will stay here and assume my final rest.
You're a mighty warrior. Enjoy your afterlife. I ran up the stairs and grabbed the Eye of the Tiger off the pedestal. I don't know what exactly this does, but I guess I'll find out. As I went to exit the temple, I saw the warrior standing at the bottom of the temple steps. What are you doing here? I thought you were on your way to the afterlife.
Well, I did too, but nothing happened. Did you get the item?
I did, but I'm not sure what it does exactly.
You will never leave this place.
The ghost warrior had reappeared at the top of the stairs and came charging at me. He hit me super hard, but I immediately responded with an even stronger counterattack, knocking him out in one hit. Whoa, what was that?
It was the item. It lets you deliver a powerful blow, but only if you take a powerful hit yourself.
Interesting. Say, if you're not going to be disappearing anytime soon, why don't you join me on my quest?
I've got nothing else to do. Sounds great.
Awesome. By the way, what's your name? I bet it's something really cool and ancient sounding.
Tim.
Tim? Like short for Timothy?
That is correct.
Okay, well, that's still cool. Let's go. On days 58 to 62, Tim and I arrived back at the base. I headed straight to Master Balboa to tell him about the item I had found.
That is most impressive, Zozo. I'm so happy that you made it back in one piece.
Master Balboa let out a cough. That didn't sound so good, but I didn't want to press him. He was also looking a little shaky. With Tim at the base, I needed to make sure he had a place to stay. I wasn't sure if undead, timeless ancient warriors needed to sleep or not, but I did my best to make him a comfortable place. At the very least, he could just enjoy the feng shui. Tim then called me over to him and told me that his 1,000 years of life came with some training tips. Following his instructions, I made some improvements to the gym. These are really going to help us out. With Tim all set up, I then headed over to the crafting table to make use of all the diamonds I had found. It had been something of a miracle that I was able to win all the battles I did using subpar armor. Soon, I had everything upgraded and was ready for my next fight. On days 63 to 66, I decided to get some more work done on Ernie's statue. I had gotten a decent amount done when I heard a noise coming from the base. As I looked, I saw the base was under attack by the monkeys. And this time, it wasn't a dream. You scumbags, get back! I started to fight off the monkeys, taking a lot of them out. Buff Bear was strong, but his students weren't. He must not be a very good teacher. I then hurried and ran inside the gym, where there was a pack of monkeys attacking Master Balboa. Get away from him! Master Balboa was holding his own, but I could tell he was eventually going to be overrun. I helped fight off the monkeys until only the henchman monkey was left.
You may have defeated our little army, but as long as you keep training and getting more members of your gym, we'll keep giving you these little visits.
Enough is enough. We will never give up. Tell your boss this is an official challenge. I challenge him to a fight to the death.
Oh, okay, pal. Your funeral.
The monkey turned and ran off. I ran over to Master Balboa. He wasn't looking so good.
Zozo, why did you do that? You promised me you wouldn't fight him.
promised I would only fight out of self-defense. They attacked us. Isn't that what I'm doing? Master Balboa let out a cough. He had been seriously injured. We don't have to worry about that right now. You need to rest up and heal your wounds. I'm sorry. I led him to his bed to rest. Things weren't looking good. On days 67 to 70, I got to work, building a medical area that would have all the things that could help Master Balboa to heal. I hoped he could pull through. When I was done, I went to check on him again, but things were not looking good. Zozo, I don't know how much time I have left, but I need to talk to you about this fight. Master Balboa, it's okay. Save your energy. I know what you're going to say. We don't have to talk about this now. We do, Zozo. I just want you to consider something. You can live your life in peace at this gym, restoring it and training the next generation of protectors. You don't have to throw your life away in the pursuit of revenge. Don't answer me now. Just promise you will think about it. I promised him I would think about it. While I thought about it though, I decided to get to work repairing the gym. The monkeys had caused a lot of damage and we needed to get things back in case they attacked again. Once the repairs were complete, I went around the outside of the gym, putting up a fence. A little extra security could make a big difference in the future. As I was finishing up the fence, Perry came over to talk to me.
Hey, I've got some information you might find useful. I know where you can find that monkey.
Oh, do you? Because I wouldn't mind having a little chat with him.
There's a club nearby that he likes to hang out at. I'll tell you the way.
Perry explained how to find the club and I set off. If I decided not to fight Buff Bear, at the very least, I was going to take out his monkey. On day 71 to 74, I arrived outside the club Perry had told me about. There were some bouncers standing outside. Out of the way, boys, or I'll move you myself. The bouncers weren't interested in my threats and we started to fight. How bold of them to think they were going to stop me. I was able to knock both of them out pretty quickly. As I stepped into the club, there was a shout and a bunch of monkeys started to swarm me. Bring it on, you tree rats. Where's your leader? I smacked the monkeys left and right, sending them crashing into the tables and chairs. I wasn't in the mood for their sad attempts to take me out. I only had one thing on my mind: revenge. Come on, where is he? I know he's hiding around here. More and more waves of monkeys came running out, but it didn't matter. I tossed them around like stuffed animals and took them out quickly. If they weren't going to show me where the henchman was hiding, I was just going to have to start destroying their club. I ran around the room, busting up the tables and chairs. I ran around, breaking everything I could. If he was going to come to my house and break my stuff, I had no problem going to his and doing the same. Surely this would draw the monkey henchman out. On day 75 to 78, a nearby door opened and the henchman finally revealed himself.
Hey, what's the big idea? I thought we told you where you could stick your little kangaroo paws.
Did you really think you could come to our gym and not have anything happen in return?
You said you wanted to fight Master Bear, not me.
Turned out I had some room in my schedule. You and me, alone. Now, let's go.
Sure, I can crush you myself.
The henchman leapt forward, getting an early hit in, catching me off guard. He was stronger than I was expecting.
What's wrong, Happy? Spending too much time hugging trees and drinking tea with your turtle grandpa? How is he, by the way? I hear he's not doing too good.
You're about to pay what you did to him. I landed a really hard hit, which I could tell really shook him up.
No, not like this. You won't beat me.
Suddenly, a bunch of monkey guards came running into the room. You coward, always hiding behind others. You talk tough, but you're weak. If Buff Bear wasn't around to protect you, you'd have disappeared a long time ago. I managed to knock out the crowd of monkeys. The monkey henchman looked around, then took off running up a flight of stairs to the roof of the club. I chased him to the top. What are you so afraid of? I thought you were going to crush me.
What are you doing at that turtle gym? How did you become so strong?
It's called training. Maybe you should have tried it instead of running your mouth. The monkey henchman was cornered at the edge of the roof.
Hey, come on now. I just wanted to rough that old turtle up a bit, you know? It's not a big deal. We're not so different, you know? We're both strong-willed. So what do you say? Let's call it a draw and I'll get Buff Bear to call the fight off.
No, I punched him so hard he flew over the edge, disappearing into the night. I had no more time for slimy monkeys. As I ran down the stairs, I noticed there was a note on the monkey's desk. I picked it up and took a look. Do not worry about Zozo. Even if it comes to a fight between me and him, I have a man on the inside. We will poison Zozo before the fight and ensure my victory. This must be from Buff Bear, but a man on the inside? I'll have to keep an eye out. On day 79 to 84, I arrived back at the base. As I got closer, Perry came running out.
Zozo, come quick. Master Balboa has been asking for you. I think this is the end.
I hurried inside and saw Master Balboa was looking even worse than before. He looked like he didn't have much time left. Zozo, my end is near, but I needed to speak with you. I'm sorry, Master Balboa. I've been rash. I know I need to call off the fight. If that is your final wish, I will honor it. And finally, you understand. What do you mean? Zozo, I know you. And while I know you mean that when you say it, your desire for revenge will grow stronger with every attack Buff Bear launches. Even the strongest warrior can't run in two directions at once. Wait, do you mean to say you want me to fight him? I do. I've known this from the moment Ernie stepped into the ring with that bear. It was always your destiny to avenge Ernie and save this gym. But I needed you to understand that you cannot defeat the bear with a heart of rage. You've been preparing me this whole time, and I didn't even realize realize it. Thank you. I'm afraid someone here is trying to sabotage me though. I found a note from Buff Bear saying so. If a friend is going to cross you, they may have their own reasons why. Be patient and have compassion, so you may learn why. Goodbye, Zozo. I will be with you. Master Balboa turned to his side and vanished. I couldn't believe he was gone. Suddenly, there were some blinking lights as experience poured in on me, leveling me up into an even bigger kangaroo with more hearts. Master Balboa's final gift. I won't let him down. As a show of my gratitude, I headed outside to do some work on the statue. There was something new I felt I should add. Now that Master Balboa was gone, it might not look like much, but soon enough, it will be something great. On days 85 to 89, I walked around the gym, visiting with each of the new friends I had made. Each of them had a piece of advice for me. Tim spoke of speed in the fight, using fast movements to evade the enemy's attack in order to land my own. Harry showed me what he had learned about his tail and shared with me a secret he had discovered that allowed him to hit twice as hard with it. Wilbur spoke to me about the power of perseverance. Sometimes things get hard in the fight, but by keeping your head down and continuing to fight, you will always make it through. As Wilbur was explaining, Perry came over. He had a note from Buff Bear. Greetings, Zozo. I accept your challenge and I will meet you in the arena in a few days. Best get ready soon. As I read the note, I noticed Wilbur was acting a little funny. I'd have to keep an eye on him over the next few days. On days 90 to 94, I woke up and decided it was time to make my final preparations. I felt more powered up than ever, but there was still more that needed to be done. There was no way I could let Buff Bear take me out. First things first, I've got to upgrade my armor. The strongest armor comes from netherite, so I needed to head into the nether. I set out to find obsidian. I had ventured deep into a cave where there was lava and was able to collect all the obsidian I needed. Using my newly collected obsidian, I then set up a portal outside and lit it. Going to the nether always makes me nervous, but here we go. I stepped into the portal and the purple haze took me away. Safely in the nether, I got right to work, looking for ancient debris. Unfortunately, this wasn't going to be an easy trip, and I was soon fighting my way through. Out of the way! I fought as hard as I could and managed to clear a path. I had to hurry though, there was always something hiding around the corner. After plenty of searching, I managed to get all of the ancient debris that I needed. I also grabbed some gold. This will help me make netherite ingots, but I can also use it to finish the statue. Once I had collected everything, I headed back to the portal. On days 95 to 97, I arrived back in the overworld and made my way back to the gym. Using the ancient debris, I was able to smelt it down into netherite scraps. Then using the netherite scraps and gold, I made some netherite ingots. Now I can get truly powered up. I took all of the diamond armor and gear I had collected and upgraded everything to netherite. I had no idea what Buff Bear was going to show up with, so I had to have the best. After that, I headed outside to finish the statue. Using all of the supplies I'd collected, I was finally able to give it the final touches. As I'm sure you figured out by now, it was a trophy of my two friends, Ernie and Master Balboa. As I finished the statue and admired my work, I suddenly had a vision.
Zozo, it's me, Ernie.
Ernie? I can't believe it. You're back.
Well, no, I'm just here, in your head. But I wanted to say thank you for working so hard to avenge me.
Yes, Zozo, we won't see you there, but we will be supporting you. We know you can win.
Thanks, guys. I was starting to feel a bit lonely, but I feel much better now, especially since someone is going to try and poison me.
Zozo, remember, they may have their reasons, so meet them with compassion, not anger.
I nodded as the two of them vanished away. I'll do whatever it takes to win! On day 98, I woke up to the sound of a knock at my door. It was Wilbur.
Hello, Zozo. I thought you could use a pick-me-up before your fight. I made this for you.
Wilbur seemed really nervous as he passed the drink over to me. As I took a closer look at the drink, I could very clearly see that it had poison in it. It was labeled. Before I could say anything, though, Wilbur piped up.
Zozo, wait. Don't drink that. It's poisoned.
Yeah, I saw that. Wilbur, what's going on?
I'm sorry for trying to poison you. Buff Bear is blackmailing me. He knows something about me and threatened to tell everyone if I didn't help him.
What do you mean? What could be so bad that you would poison your friend?
The truth is that I love clean water. Bathing in mud is so gross. But if anyone found out, especially the other pigs, I would be ridiculed until the day I become a pork chop. Please don't tell anyone, and please forgive me.
The advice of Master Balboa repeated in my head. It's okay, Wilbur. I forgive you. And don't worry, if anyone ever gives you a problem about liking clean water, you just let me know. I've got 2 fists that will have a word with them.
Thanks, Zozo. You're a good friend.
I decided that I would even do him one better and got to work building him his own special hot tub. I wanted him to know that he would never get made fun of here. Once the work was completed, I gathered everyone together for one final chat. They were all so excited for me and began to give me words of encouragement. I didn't know what I had done to have so many great friends. As their encouragement grew, I suddenly started to as well. Out of nowhere, I became a big, buff kangaroo. Let's go kick some Buff Bear butt. And don't forget to hit subscribe. I can't do this without your help. On day 99, we made our way to the arena. The day of the fight had come. As I entered, I could see not much had changed from before. Buff Bear and I stepped into the ring for our introductions.
Ladies Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the latest Rumble in the Rotunda! In the red corner, we have the mighty, the majestic, the powerful, the one, the only, Buff Bear!
The monkeys in the crowd went wild in admiration.
And in the blue corner, a kangaroo.
Buff Bear and I were facing each other. He had a sly grin.
Hope you're not feeling a little under the weather today.
You mean like poisoned? I feel great, actually. Turns out your friend is actually my friend.
What? That useless pig, after I beat you, he's dead.
Keep dreaming. We got ready for the bell. Buff Bear was going down. As the bell rang, we both leapt into action. I had been preparing for this moment for so long, I just had to win. Even then, he was still incredibly strong.
Silly kangaroo, you've wasted your time at that old decrepit gym. You should be putting your talents to use as my servant.
I'll never be your servant, and you're going to pay for what you've done to Ernie and to Master Balboa. We continued to exchange blows as the monkeys around us were going crazy. I had to be careful. One slip up, and he was going to be able to knock me out. I felt like I was winning and was getting some good hits in. Looks like your time is coming to an end.
Guess I'll stop playing around then.
Oh no, it was his fight with Ernie all over again. I was in trouble. He started to really hit me, and my health was really starting to drop. Just then, I heard a voice in my head. Master Balboa!
August Zozo, and use the eye of the tiger.
Of course, the best offense was a good defense. I lowered my guard, letting myself take the full impact of Buff Bear's hit. As I did so, the eye of the tiger let me absorb the blow, sending Buff Bear out of the ring and into the afterlife. I did it! The monkeys were stunned. They couldn't believe it, but I could. Justice had been served. On day 100, I was back at the gym, right where I belonged. With Buff Bear defeated, we could train and grow in peace. The world had become just a little bit safer, but we had to be ready, always. On day 1, I was flying toward the ground in a meteor. It got faster and faster until finally I crash landed in a city. Oh, gross. I'm just a pile of goo. No, wait, I'm Venom. I knew I wasn't going to be able to survive 100 days without a host, so I needed to find someone or something quick. It was time to embrace the dark side and truly become the symbiote. I looked around the city I had landed in. Whoa, these buildings are huge. I was admiring all the buildings when all of a sudden I was attacked by a mean stray dog. I knew I couldn't beat him, not being a puddle of goo with only 3 hearts, so I hurried and squirmed down a drain. Phew. That was close. The drain led me down into the sewer. I explored down a tunnel before I found a little corner. It seemed safe enough, so I went to sleep for the night. What a way to spend the first night on a new planet. On day 2, I woke up with a headache. Wait, I don't even have a brain. How could I have a headache? I shrugged and started up out of the drain to the same alleyway where I had landed. I looked around and saw the stray dog was gone. I went squirming around and figured if I could climb up the pipes, then I must be able to climb up the walls too. I started going up a building when I noticed an open window. Oh, maybe I can hide in there. I crawled in and saw that it was an apartment. Nobody seemed to be around, so I made myself at home. I smelled food, so I tried to open the fridge, but it wouldn't budge. I guess I wasn't strong enough to open doors yet. My whole being grumbled. My hunger meter was dangerously low. I knew I needed food, so I kept looking around. But then I heard a noise. I tried to freeze, but then I felt something hit me. Ouch! I dodged and realized someone was attacking me. Hey, stop that! He swung again. That's it, pal. Time for you to see what a puddle can do. I used the one ability I had, morphing.
Hey, get off of me!
I climbed up and morphed into him, getting absorbed into his body.
Hey, where'd you go?
I decided I should probably stay inside this guy until I could find some more food. Maybe he could take me to get some. The guy looked around and shrugged. I guess he assumed I was gone. He went back to sleep for the rest of the day, leaving me starving. On day 3, the guy I had morphed into got up and made himself some breakfast. He was able to open the fridge. He had some fruit and it was fine, but I didn't really like it. I wanted something else. Something meatier. He went downstairs and he got onto his motorcycle. Even morphed inside of him, it was really loud. Maybe he would take me to get some better food though. We went to the park with some benches and a pond, and he threw bread at some ducks. I couldn't handle it anymore. I was so hungry at this point, I decided to tell him what I needed. Brains! He panicked, not knowing it was me talking. I need brains!
Stop it, Eddie. You're not hallucinating. You don't have time for this.
Okay, so it seems like this guy's name was Eddie. Perfect. Of course we had time for it. I was hungry. Eddie, I need brains now! I started to wiggle, which made Eddie move. Maybe I could control him.
Hey, what's going on? Help!
A police officer was nearby and he came running towards us. Oh no, I didn't want him to hurt us, but maybe if I could have his brain. The man got to us and I used Eddie to smack him.
I'm so sorry, I don't know what's happening.
The police officer started yelling for backup.
Oh no, we gotta go.
No, we need brains. Eddie started to run away. I wasn't strong enough yet, so I couldn't make him stop. What are you doing? I'm starving.
doing?
Yeah, well, we don't eat brains. Oh, I'm talking to myself.
We got back to Eddie's apartment where he soon fell asleep. I would have to try something else tomorrow. On days 4 to 5, I woke Eddie up. Come on, it's time to eat. I tried with all my strength to get him up and somehow managed to get his legs moving a little bit.
What in the world?
Eddie, stop resisting me. I need food and you need to get it for me.
Whoa, wait, you're not just in my head?
No, I'm Venom, or as you remember, the little black puddle you tried to beat with a newspaper. He started to go toward the fridge. I want brains, no more fruit.
I told you I don't eat brains.
But I do. I started to get really angry. My hunger meter was so low, I was on the brink of dying, and Eddie didn't even care. I needed to get food, and fast. I reached out using all of my strength and manifested my true form. We are Venom, and we are getting some food. And with that, I jumped through the window. On days 6 through 8, I fell down into the alleyway near the stray dog I saw earlier. Maybe I could eat his brain. He saw us and ran away though.
No brains.
Eddie was talking to me, but I was in control of our body now. I'm going to die if I don't get some food soon. Don't you care about me, Eddie?
I don't even know you.
I started down the alleyway, keeping an eye out for anything that looked tasty. Like I said, I am Venom, or now we are Venom. I need a host in order to thrive, and you are perfect, Eddie. Well, not perfect, but we are a good match. I ran up the side of the building and onto the rooftop. It looked like even as Eddie, I still had my same powers. I ran across some buildings and up some taller ones. Eventually, we got to the edge of the water. All of a sudden, I saw what looked like a guy attacking a woman. She screamed out for help. Without thinking, I charged forward and grabbed the man. Then I realized he wasn't a man. He was a...
Oh, it's a zombie.
I didn't know what a zombie was doing in the city, but it looked tasty. I defeated him and quickly ate some of the meat he left behind.
Gross, Venom. That was a zombie.
Yes, he tasted interesting. I realized that the woman was standing there, staring at us. We are Venom. Are you okay? She nodded.
Yes. Was that really a zombie?
Yes. Yes, it was.
He probably would have eaten my brain if you hadn't come along.
Zombies eat brains too? We might be friends. The woman started to tremble. She looked really scared.
You're scaring her, Venom.
But not your brain. You are nice to us. She nodded again.
Venom, let me talk to her.
I let Eddie take control, and he walked up to the girl.
I'm Eddie Brock. I'm a reporter. Did you see where that zombie came from?
She pointed down the alleyway, towards an abandoned building.
I was walking down the street when I saw the guy outside. I started walking faster, but then he followed me down the alleyway. Do you think there are more of them?
I don't know, but we will find out.
Eddie started to walk us toward the building when the woman called out from behind us.
Wait, I'm Ann. If you need help, call me.
She gave us her number. I like her.
Shut up.
Excuse me?
No, sorry, not you.
Oh, okay.
She walked quickly down the alleyway and out of sight. I like her.
So you said. Well, I guess I'm stuck with you. Want to go see what's up?
Oh yes, as long as I get to eat. On days 9 to 10, Eddie started to sneak toward the abandoned building. Hey, I want to come out.
Venom, you're great and all, but you're kind of big.
What do you mean?
I mean a minute ago, when you took form, you were only slightly bigger than me, but that's still something.
Just wait until I take my true form. What?
Never mind. I think I see a window we can sneak in.
Eddie crept toward the window and looked inside. There didn't seem to be anyone there, and it was open, so we slipped inside. We continued through the room and towards the next door. Eddie opened it and we looked through. Still nothing. Just a dark hallway. Eddie didn't move. What are you waiting for?
It's dark. I don't know if there's anything down there.
We forced Eddie to walk forward and he did. We went down the hallway and saw another door at the end. This one had a bigger lock on it.
You don't by chance pick locks, do you?
I can try. It turns out I had a special ability that would allow me to reach into door locks and trigger the mechanism, even without a key. The door was now unlocked. On days 11 to 12, Eddie opened the door and we immediately had to hide. There were a bunch of scientists around what looked like big tanks full of green liquid. Eddie ducked behind one, fast.
Phew, I hope nobody saw us.
What is this green stuff?
I have no idea.
Eddie peeked over the tank. The scientists were listening as one scientist spoke. The scientist speaking had spiky red hair and looked like he was in charge.
I'm gonna try and get closer so that I can hear him.
Eddie snuck us toward another tank, one nearly behind the spiky-haired scientist.
And we couldn't have done this without all of your help. Now that the machine is fully functional, we can do what we intended. Start the zombie apocalypse.
What?
What are you doing, Eddie? They are going to find us. Eddie peeked over the tank again. The scientists were looking around, trying to find the source of the noise. You sure did it now, Eddie.
Come on, we gotta get out of here.
We looked up to see the lead scientist pointing a weapon at us. I could tell that Eddie was scared, so I started to take form. But then, the scientist fired the weapon and we blacked out. On days 13 to 15, Eddie and I woke up, strapped down on a table.
Hey, let me out.
We looked around the room. There were cages, weird instruments, and glass windows looking in on us.
Well, what are we gonna do, Venom?
I don't know. Maybe escape? And with that, I sliced the belts that were tying us down, so Eddie was able to get up.
You could have gotten us out this whole time?
Yes, it was just fun watching you squirm. Eddie sighed and walked to the door. He pulled it and it opened right up.
Not very good security here, huh?
He started to creep down the hall. Just then, the lead scientist came around the corner. We hid behind some boxes as he passed. He went back into the lab and we heard him yell.
Who let my test subject out?
We were still hiding behind the boxes. I did notice that he had a syringe in his hand with the same green stuff from the large room.
We gotta get some more information out of him, Venom.
Sure thing. I took my Venom form and we started to run toward the scientist. He screamed and ran into the room we were being held in. He sealed the door behind him and watched us through the glass.
What
are you?
We are Venom, and we know your plan, funny-haired man. The scientist scrambled around and pressed a big red button on the side of the wall. Something really loud started shrieking. Oh, turn it off! I could feel my Venom form fading away, and we turned back into regular Eddie. Eddie started to look woozy and collapsed on the floor. On days 16 to 19, we woke up strapped to the table. Again.
Venom? What was that?
Noise. I don't like loud noises. We had a terrible headache and we could barely make out anything in the room. It was like our view was all fuzzy. When everything started to clear up, we saw the scientist again. He was standing on the other side of the room, looking at us through the glass.
Extraordinary.
I tried to cut the straps, but the scientist held up a device.
If you change again, I'll turn on the alarm, and I'd rather keep you in one piece for now.
I let Eddie take control.
Who are you? Dr. Drake. I am researching life expansion, and I have finally reached a breakthrough.
He pulled out the syringe with the green goo.
In order for life to expand, it first needs to be controlled. It needs to have the best chance. So I started the zombie apocalypse. Survival of the fittest, you might say. Only the strongest should remain. Otherwise, the Earth's resources will be used up by the weak, and it's irreversible, so no chance of stopping me.
He put the syringe away. He stepped up to a board and pressed some buttons. A huge device lowered down and looked like it was going to envelop us.
What is that? Don't you worry. It will only hurt a little. My first test subject worked well, but apparently he was eaten? His tracker gave off information that it was swallowed.
Sorry.
But no matter. You're exactly what I need. I already have 4 attacks planned, but you are a welcome surprise. With you and the bombs, this city will be cleaned up in no time.
The device lowered and was getting even closer to us. I don't like this, Eddie.
Me neither.
The device started to get closer, and then I noticed something about it. There was a tube running really close to our hand. Maybe that could stop the machine.
Hit it, Venom.
I morphed out of Eddie's hand and pulled the tube. The whole device collapsed and smoke went up everywhere.
Run!
I took my Venom form and we were able to break the glass. I knocked over the scientist. He dropped his syringe and the small alarm device in the struggle.
Pick those up.
Okay, I grabbed them and we ran down the hallway. On days 20 to 22, we escaped. Barely. We ran down several hallways and finally broke through a window to get out. Wow, that was amazing.
Amazing? We nearly died, Venom.
Oh, we're fine. We climbed up the wall to the apartment and made our way inside. I let Eddie take form. He examined the device and the syringe.
We need to tell people about this. Everyone is in danger.
He started to move, but I didn't let him.
Venom, come on. We gotta warn everyone.
But I'm hungry. Eddie sighed and started to go to the fridge. No, I want meat, like that zombie.
Oh, that was so gross.
Maybe I can eat more zombies. Eddie stopped and thought for a minute.
Venom, we need to help people first. If worst comes to worst, we can eat the zombies, but we need to tell someone official.
Okay, how about that Ant girl? I like her.
Actually, that's a good idea. We might need some help, but then we talk to the authorities here in town.
Okay. Eddie went to his phone and dialed Anne's number. While he was waiting, he tossed something on the ground. What's that?
It's chocolate, Venom.
It sounded gross. Symbiotes don't want chocolate, they want meat. Eddie picked up and ate the chocolate, and I felt myself get stronger. Ooh, yes, more of that. Eddie ate another, and I felt myself growing. That's when I took my Venom form once again, but this time I was even bigger. I felt stronger and had more hearts. My hunger meter grew too.
Hello?
I forgot that Anne was on the phone. Hello, this is Venom. Meet us at the small messy place where we sleep. On days 23 to 26, we decided to make some upgrades to the apartment. I was helping build a secret door when Anne knocked on the door. I opened it up. Hello? Nobody was there.
Wrong door, buddy.
Oh, right. I went to the front door and there was Anne. I let Eddie take form.
Hey, Anne, come in.
We talked for a minute about boring things, and then I said something. Eddie, tell her about the zombies and all the ones I'm going to eat.
Right, yes.
Eddie told Anne about all the stuff we saw at the lab. He also told her about the safe house we were building.
This is all great, Eddie. And Venom.
I like her.
Stop it.
What?
Nothing. You were saying?
We need to go to the police. They can help us.
We nodded and we went with Anne down to the police station. We told them about Dr. Drake and his plan to unleash the zombie apocalypse. They laughed and told us to go home, so we made our way back to the apartment. Rude.
What about your boss, Eddie? You're a reporter. Maybe he'll print a story about it.
Eddie nodded his head and called his boss. He told him about the zombies and how everyone needed to be warned.
Eddie, you really expect me to believe that?
It's the truth.
Look, I can't keep dealing with you and your crazy stories. You're fired, Eddie.
Eddie sunk into the couch and sighed. Oh, I know what will cheer you up. Let's eat some chocolate. Eddie only sighed. On days 27 to 31, Anne offered to help us build our safe house. We gathered more brick and stone from abandoned buildings and made the secret safe house look just like the rest of the building. We found some extra beds and other furniture too.
This looks great, Eddie.
What about me?
And Venom too.
I was really proud of our work. It was small, but maybe we could upgrade it in the future.
Hey Venom, we should build something else. Something that will let people know that this is a safe place to come when things get difficult. Eddie and I agreed that we want to build a statue of you.
I was a little shocked. Eddie let me take form. Me? Why?
Well, you saved my life. And I know Eddie is really grateful that you saved him.
Are you really grateful, Eddie?
Yeah, sure.
You're kind of our hero.
Hero? I hadn't thought about that before, but it made sense. These humans were very frail and small. I was big and strong. Then I realized something. Am I the only one who can stop the zombies? Anne nodded.
We're counting on you, Venom. You're our only hope.
That felt good. I liked that feeling. Okay, Anne, I will stop those zombies and make sure you puny humans don't die. Anne laughed.
Sounds good to me.
On days 32 to 35, Eddie and I went back to the lab, but I insisted on eating some more chocolate before we left. I'd also make sure he stocked up on some more in our safe house, just in case. We knew Dr. Drake wanted to start the apocalypse. We just didn't know when or how. We needed to stay a few steps ahead of it if we could. On our way over, we didn't see anything out of the ordinary, except some interesting graffiti on the wall. What an odd thing to write. When we arrived, we could see the window we jumped out of. It was still broken.
Should we go in through there again?
I crawled up the side of the building to another window. I didn't see anything inside. The green tanks were empty, and there was no one in sight. That's not good. I climbed to the very top of the building to get a good view of the city. All of a sudden, I heard a loud boom, and a large plume of smoke went up in the air.
Oh no, I think we're too late.
We started to run across the buildings toward the large green cloud. As we got closer, we noticed that there was a lot of green goo everywhere, and there were zombies. They were running after normal humans and attacking them. We had to do something.
All right, Venom, do your thing.
I licked my lips and jumped down into the crowd. On days 36 to 39, I defeated and ate a lot of zombies, maybe hundreds. I had never felt so full in my life. After eating one, I felt a surge of strength, and I morphed into an even bigger Venom. I was even taller, and my tongue got longer, and I could use that as a new attack. I realized I couldn't keep eating because I was getting too full. So I started to fence off one city block so the zombies wouldn't get out. The humans were safe, and I basically had an endless supply of food.
Venom, we should go check on Anne, see if she's okay.
Good idea, Annie. I like her.
Me too, buddy. Me too.
We made our way back to the apartment to check on Anne. I let Eddie take his human form since I was getting a little bit big for the ceilings.
Anne?
We looked around and didn't see her anywhere. We checked the safe house. Maybe she went to get more chocolate.
Venom, we have enough chocolate to last you a lifetime.
Not possible. She wasn't in the safe house either. Where would she have gone? But then we heard another boom, and there was an explosion just down the street. Eddie looked out the window. It was more green smoke. Oh no! It was time for me to take my Venom form again, and we went racing outside to go help. On days 40 to 43, we found the explosion site. There was green goo everywhere, and people were turning into zombies again.
We need to start fencing them in, just like the others.
We started to take materials from the destroyed buildings and build a wall around the infected. Eventually, we got all of them inside. Eddie, there's Anne! I pointed to the top of a building nearby. She was looking around frantically.
Anne!
We raced up the side of the building and grabbed her. We ran her all the way back to the apartment building before letting her go. I let Eddie take form.
What were you doing outside?
I have some friends who live nearby, and I was in their building when I heard the explosion. I went to the roof of the building, hoping it would be a safe place. My friends went downstairs. I don't think they made it.
I'm so sorry, Anne, but I'm glad you're safe. We are glad you're safe. Just please, don't go outside again.
She nodded, but she looked pretty sad.
Hey, Venom will take care of us, okay?
I let my true Venom form come out. Of course I will. Who do you think I am? That made Anne laugh, and she tried to embrace me. What a funny human.
Thank you. What can I do to help?
I let Eddie take control again.
There must be a pattern to the attacks. He mentioned that he had planned 4. We need a map so we can figure out where Dr. Drake is going to strike next.
Anne nodded and pulled out a map from the bookshelf. We looked at the areas of the city, and it didn't look like much yet.
We'll have to wait and see.
Okay, how about we work on that statue so people know where to go?
Great idea.
We started to build the statue on top of the safe house. We only got the first little bit done, but I'm excited to see how it turns out. On days 44 to 49, we went back outside to scout the city. At this point, most people knew to stay inside. Some still went about their business though, like nothing was happening. Eddie said that the mayor told everyone that everything was under control and they had nothing to worry about. I felt so proud of myself, but also worried. There were so many people in this city. People like Anne and Eddie. I really liked them, and I didn't want people like them to turn into zombies. It wasn't fair of Dr. Drake to decide who would live in his weird world. He needed to be stopped at all costs. Eddie, where do you think Dr. Drake is?
Well, if he wants to stop the zombie apocalypse, he's probably hiding in a safe house like ours, but probably with more security and food.
Do you think he has a chocolate stash?
Bet he does, buddy.
That made me like him even less. How dare he take chocolate that should be mine? We jumped around on some buildings to look around, but there didn't seem to be anything.
There's always an explosion of goop, so he must put it there before it goes off. Did you see any sort of container at the other sites?
I don't know. Let's go see. I need a snack anyway. We headed over to the second explosion site where we had built the zombie fence. I noticed there was some sort of weird-shaped thing on the ground. What is that? We picked it up, but we couldn't tell what it was. Maybe a bolt or something? We took it with us back to the apartment. On days 50 to 53, we found Anne in the apartment with a few other people. I let Eddie take his human so we wouldn't scare everyone.
These people live downstairs, but they said the owner of this building disappeared. They didn't feel safe in their apartment, so they came up here.
The owner is gone? Well, what if we just retrofitted the entire apartment to be a safe house? That way you can still live in your home.
That would be perfect, thank you. I'm Anita, by the way. Let me know if you need any help with anything.
Of course, we could use some help with securing the block.
Anita nodded and started to gather some people to help her outside. Ann, Eddie, and I got to work building some new security measures for the surrounding buildings. We cleared out some of the other debris from the broken buildings and made ourselves a large wall surrounding us. We also started to work more on the statue. It was starting to look really good. It felt good to know that we were protecting people.
Thanks again for taking us in. You're amazing.
Of course. Anything we can do to help.
Anita nodded, and her and her friends went back downstairs. Once we were done, Ann, Eddie, and I sat around the safe house table, looking at the weird object we had found. We had put it in a container and didn't let Ann touch it, just in case.
Wait, I know what that is. It's the top of a fire hydrant.
Are you kidding? Those are everywhere. How are we supposed to know which one is real and which one is a trap?
But our conversation was interrupted when we heard a loud explosion. It didn't seem as close this time, but it still made me mad. How dare Dr. Drake hurt all these people? Eddie let me take the venom form, and we went sprinting toward the green plume of smoke. On days 54 to 57, we arrived at a city block close to the waterfront. People were groaning and already turning into zombies. There weren't as many zombies this time, but it still made me mad.
Hey, Venom, are you okay?
No! Why would a fellow human hurt other humans? There are a lot of good humans here. Some are bad and should be eaten, but mostly they are good like you and Ann. Drake needs to be stopped.
You're starting to sound like a human. That's good. At first I thought you were just this parasite that was gonna eat me and everyone here. You're actually better than most people I know.
That made me feel only a little bit better. Well, actually it made me feel pretty good. It was nice to feel needed.
Venom, are you crying?
No, we are crying.
It's okay, buddy. It's all good.
We saw an emergency flare go up in the sky.
Hey, that's a flare from our emergency stash. The people in our building must be in trouble.
We ran toward the source of the explosion to see what was going on. On days 58 to 62, we arrived back at the apartment. Everything seemed normal, and nobody seemed to know who shot off the flare. But then, Anita came running up to us.
Eddie, you won't believe it. Ann is a traitor.
What?
She was acting really weird, so I followed her up onto the roof. She told me that she was a spy for Dr. Drake and had staked out the apartment for him. She's been trying to get to you so she can turn you into Drake.
I couldn't believe it. Ann was our friend. How could she betray us like this?
Where did she go?
I don't know. She must have gone down the fire escape. I tried to grab her, but she let off the flare, and it scared me so bad that I fell over. I think she was telling Drake where we are.
Everyone started to freak out.
Hey, everyone, calm down. We will take care of this. Don't worry.
Anita seemed really shaken. I felt the same way. I still couldn't believe that Ann was gone, plotting with Dr. Drake. She was probably in on it the whole time. She pretended to be attacked by a zombie so someone would help her. Drake wanted test subjects, but now he just wanted me. He would do anything to get to me. I felt so angry at him, but I also felt sad about Ann. I liked her.
Me too, buddy. Me too.
We decided to keep lookout for the night. I also checked all the fire hydrants in our block. They all seemed real, so I felt good about our safety. I still felt sad, but I knew that I needed to protect our friends. If Drake was coming, I'd be there to meet him. On day 63 to 66, Dr. Drake didn't come. We were expecting him to, but he never did. We waited and waited. Everyone seemed on edge, Eddie most of all.
Why hasn't he come yet? What is he waiting for?
I didn't know, but I had a weird feeling about this whole situation. Or maybe it was hunger. I couldn't tell.
Venom, what should we do?
Eat chocolate.
I'm serious.
So am I. Eddie threw up his hands in frustration. Eddie, I know this must be hard for you too. He nodded. Are you crying?
No. We are crying.
On days 67 to 70, we went into the safe house to rustle up some chocolate. Well in there, we noticed the map that Ann had taken out. She had plotted the attack sites in red marker.
Venom, look at that.
I know, Eddie. I see through your eyes. The 3 points were marked, equal distance from each other. Then Ann had plotted the next spot with a bright yellow marker.
Ann figured it out. Wait, why would she plot this out if she was a traitor?
Maybe she left it here on accident? She already knew where the attack points were.
No, Ann is smarter than that.
Then it dawned on us. Anita!
She must be the traitor. But if that's the case, where's Ann?
We decided to go up to the roof to investigate.
Anita must have been wanting to contact Drake, and Ann was onto her. Ann followed her up here with the flare gun as a precaution, and she confronted Anita.
Anita is not good people.
No, she's not, buddy. Ann must have set off the flare, and Anita had to come up with a story to keep her cover.
So, where's Ann?
Anita must be hiding her.
Then we heard some noise coming from the rooftop storage closet. We took on my venom form and approached the door. I opened it, my claws bared, ready to fight. Ann! On day 71 to 74, we untied Ann and helped her out of the storage closet.
I'm so happy you found me. But Eddie, Venom, we need to stop Anita. She's a traitor.
We know. We saw your map. You are the smartest human and wouldn't leave that if you were a traitor.
You're not too bad yourself, Venom.
I let Eddie take his form again. And Eddie, of course.
Well, we are Venom, so I just assume everything good you have to say applies to me too.
Well, I'm glad you found me. Anita was on the phone with Drake when I grabbed her. I managed to get her phone and throw it off the building before shooting the flare gun.
Well, nothing has happened, so Anita must not have contacted Drake yet. We need to make sure she doesn't. Otherwise, lots of people will be in danger. We headed downstairs to Anita's apartment. When she opened the door, she looked terrified.
Anita, we need to talk to you.
She tried to run inside and shut the door, but Eddie let the venom form come out and we rushed inside. Anita, you hurt Ann!
I didn't have a choice. Drake has my family.
Wait,
What?
Drake somehow found where you lived, and he knew I lived in the same building, so he's been using me to get information about the safe house. And you.
What have you told him?
Nothing. Anne threw my phone off the building before I had a chance to say anything. I couldn't get a new one because the city is basically on lockdown. Please, he probably thinks I've betrayed him. He has my family.
She started to cry. Eddie wanted to take his human form again, but I wanted to talk to her some more. We will get your family back, Anita. They are important to you, so they are important to us. I patted her on the back. Do you know where he keeps his chocolate?
What?
Sorry, do you know where his safe house is?
No. But we know where he is attacking next. Do you know when that will be? All he said is that he needed to wait. He had to make some modifications or something.
We sat and thought for a bit, but we had no idea what Drake could be planning. We decided to help Anita get a new phone so she could contact Drake. She told him that she needed some more time since we were making more improvements to the block. He seemed to buy it, for now.
That should stall him for a bit, but we will find your family, Anita. We promise.
On day 75 to 78, Anita apologized to Anne and they started working together again. Anita helped us to finish the statue as well. We thought it looked pretty awesome and hoped that it would be a beacon of hope for people. We also crafted some weapons and gear for the people in the block. We had no idea what was coming, but we wanted to be prepared. Everyone seemed a little happier and hopeful. We welcomed more people into our safe perimeter, and they even gave me chocolate as a gift. Wow, we will never run out of chocolate! We also went around the city to check on the zombie corals, where they are fenced in.
People need to be able to get to their homes and shops.
We got to work making a large zombie pen on a small island just by a pier. We slowly started transporting the zombies over there. We also cleaned up the goo and helped the people living nearby. It was good to be a hero. On day 79 to 84, we scouted the block where the next explosion should be. We checked all the fire hydrants and they all seemed normal.
Weird.
Maybe he hasn't put it in here yet. We took shelter on a nearby roof and staked out the block. A lot of time passed and nothing happened.
What in the world?
I was starting to get suspicious. We knew where he was going to be. Why wasn't he here? It didn't make sense. Wait, Anita said he was making modifications. What if it's not a fire hydrant? What if it's... I saw it. I hurried and ran down the building toward the car. It was green, just like the goo. But before I could reach it, the car exploded. On days 85 to 89, a giant explosion made the block rumble. The buildings were damaged, and there was a large crater full of green goo. There weren't any people outside, so there weren't any zombies to worry about. But we needed to clean up this goo before it would start to infect people.
Guess that Drake just wanted a bigger explosion this time.
We managed to clean up all of the goo before checking out the pieces of the car, but there was hardly anything left, just a crater. Wait, look! There was a very small trail of green goo leading away from the explosion site. Maybe the car was driven here. It left a trail.
Great job, Venom.
We followed the trail, cleaning it up as we went. It led out to a pier and then stopped. Do cars drive on water?
No, they don't, buddy. He must have taken a boat.
We looked around but didn't see any more signs of green goo. The boat could have come from anywhere. We will find him, Eddie. We will find Dr. Drake and make sure he doesn't blow up anything else.
I know. It'll just take a little more time.
On days 90 to 94, we went back to the safe house to regroup and look at the map. Anne pointed out a few different islands that were nearby, as well as the prison.
I doubt he would be at the prison, but he might be on this island. It has some abandoned buildings there.
It looked like our best bet, but we wanted to prep and make sure we had everything we needed before heading over there. Eddie grabbed the syringe we had taken, as well as some chocolate bars. Oh yes, those are most important. We also helped people find apartments to stay in. I let Eddie take his human form to talk to everyone.
Thank you for all your support and help. We think we have found where Dr. Drake is staying, and we're going to make sure all of this ends soon. We will restore the city and make sure nothing like this happens again.
People clapped and cheered. Then one called out my name.
Venom, you're our hero, Venom!
And the crowd started chanting my name. Eddie let me take my Venom form, and the crowd cheered even louder. We are Venom! On days 95 to 97, we said goodbye to Anne.
Are you sure you'll be okay? Do you want me to come with you?
We'll be fine, but we can't risk anyone else coming. No one is immune like us.
Anne nodded, but she looked sad.
Hey, we'll be okay. We promise.
She nodded her head and looked down, but then Eddie gave her a hug.
You take care of each other, okay, Venom?
I took my Venom form and told her, yes, we will take care. I gave Anne a grin, and then we took off. It was time to stop that scientist. On day 98, we headed for the island. We swam under the pier and made our way across the muddy terrain. It was foggy, but we managed to muddle our way to what looked like an old hospital. It had some large graffiti on the side of the building. Creepy.
You got that right.
We found an open window and leapt through, trying not to make much sound. It seemed quiet. Wait, listen. It sounded like someone was yelling upstairs somewhere. We made our way through the corridors and up the stairs. The noise was getting louder, so we knew we were in the right place. We opened the door and saw a long hallway with rooms on both sides. But then, a bunch of zombies came running out
out from around the corner. I started fighting the zombies and managed to take a few down. Other zombies tried to attack me, but it hardly did anything. After only a few moments, all the zombies were gone.
I'll bet there's more coming.
I hope so. I was enjoying the fighting. We continued down the hallway and saw some double doors leading into a large open room. There were tanks filled with green goo and Dr. Drake standing in the middle of them. He didn't seem to notice us, so we ducked behind a tank. He looked like he was experimenting on some people. We looked around again and noticed there were cells with people inside.
Anita's family must be in here somewhere.
We will free them, Eddie, but first, we need to deal with Drake.
Agreed.
We crept forward and managed to leap toward Drake. Before we knew it, he had pressed a button and some alarms started blaring. Turn it off!
Oh, look who it is. It's Venom, the hero.
Dr. Drake turned off the alarm for a moment. I felt so weak, so I let Eddie take his human form.
Not so strong without your parasite, are you, Mr. Brock?
Let these people go, Drake.
Drake hit Eddie and laughed.
No, you see, everything is going very well. I realized I couldn't infect you, so the most I could do was kill you. Turns out the exploding car didn't quite do it.
That was the modification that Anita was talking about.
No matter, I don't need you anymore. You're just a liability now. Soon, I'll be able to open your little compound and infect all the people there. I have someone on the inside.
No, you don't. Anita told us everything. She isn't gonna help you.
Drake yelled and hit Eddie again.
She will, if I tell her that her family is going to die if she doesn't.
Drake pointed to some people in a cell nearby. They were trembling and looked so scared. I needed to help them. I thought of Anne, Anita, and especially Eddie. They all needed me, and I couldn't let them down. I mustered all my strength and took my final form. No! I transformed into the biggest possible version of Venom. I was huge, with tons of hearts, and I could feel I was stronger than ever. On day 99, I charged towards Drake, but he had one last trick up his sleeve. He ran back into an emergency pod and sealed the door shut. It started to rumble, and I thought he might have an ejection pod. But to my surprise, the rumbling stopped. I saw now that the door he was sealed behind was only part of a much larger door. The large door slid open, and a gigantic robot walked out, piloted by Dr. Drake. The fight was on. Dr. Drake and I started to fight, and it was a good thing I had gained all those extra hearts because he started to take them away quickly. I was strong, but his robot suit was so powerful, I worried I wouldn't be able to defeat him before he took away all of my life. But then I saw something strange in the room he had come out of, a glowing device of some kind. I couldn't get past him though. The huge robot suit was blocking the only entrance into the room, and he refused to move away from it far enough to let me past. But then I had an idea. Your turn, Eddie. I changed my form back to the human, and much smaller Eddie. Eddie knew what to do and ran right under the robot's leg into the room. I saw now that the glowing machine was the source of the robot's power.
No, don't touch that!
I turned back into Venom. Sorry, Drake. Looks like your robot suit's time has expired. I broke the machine and heard Dr. Drake scream as his robot suit exploded. I saw the doctor standing in the scraps of his robot suit. I cornered him and then pulled out the syringe that Eddie had stolen from the lab all those days ago. Have a taste of your own medicine, doctor. I plunged the syringe into Drake and he started to scream. He backed up and began to change. His skin turned green as his cries turned into moans. Soon, he was a zombie. But still with that trademark red hair, of course. I licked my lips. Snack time! Soon, I was enjoying another zombie meat treat. Everyone in the cages clapped and cheered me on. We let them out, and I went searching for my well-earned chocolate stash before heading home. On day 100, we made it back to the apartment, safe and sound. Anita reunited with her family, and we saw Anne again. She made us the biggest chocolate cake ever, which was followed by an even bigger hug. Eddie even got his job as a reporter back. We helped clean up the entire city, the green goo tanks, and everything went back to the way it was. Better even. If you want to know what adventure we go on next, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for your support.
On day 1, I spawned in the desert as a baby snow golem. I was all alone, except for a honey golem who was much bigger than me. I wasn't sure why I was here, or why I was so little. Where are all the other snow golems? What am I doing out here where it's so hot and dry? Before the honey golem could answer me, a guster blew toward us. Who are you?
Who am I? I'm Gary the Guster, and there ain't a fella in the land who can take me and my Guster gang down. Just take a gander at what happens when you don't do what I say.
And with one attack, he destroyed the honey golem I spawned in next to. How could you do that? You monster!
Because I'm the baddest Guster around these parts. You got 100 days to rustle up 100 diamonds and bring the loot to me, or my gang and I will burn the nearest village to the ground, and you with it.
And with that threat, he disappeared, leaving me all alone. Oh no, I either need to gather Gary's ransom or defeat him. If I don't, there's gonna be trouble. But I'm gonna need to be a lot stronger before I can do that. On day 2, I started making my way through the desert toward the village. If they were in danger from Gary the Guster too, I needed to get there and warn them. Maybe they could help me, and we could keep each other safe. I realized I only had 5 hearts, so I would have to be careful on the way. As I was walking, a group of zombies appeared from out of a cave. What do you want?
Just keeping an eye on things for the boss. I don't see any diamonds. Maybe we ought to teach you a lesson in listening.
They attacked me, and I had nothing to fight back with. I was scared that they would take me down. I was way too small and weak to beat them right now. But just then, a bison ran up to me.
Howdy there, little snow golem. You're a long way from home.
I am, and I'm in danger.
Well, hop on my back and let's mosey on out of here. I can take us somewhere safe.
I hopped on the bison's back, and he carried me away from the zombies. Thank you. What's your name?
Byron. What's yours?
You can call me Zozo.
Mighty nice to meet you.
On day 3, Byron the bison took me to his village. It was the same place I was trying to get to, so it all worked out pretty well. Except, of course, for the part where we had to all deal with Gary's evil plan. This is a nice village. Thank you for having me. Then, Byron took me to meet the mayor of the town. He was a golem like me, but he was an earth golem, not snow. Hello, Mr. Mayor.
Well, howdy there, little snow golem. What brings you to our town?
I quickly explained what I knew about Gary and his threat to destroy the village if I didn't bring him 100 diamonds.
That no-good scoundrel's been bothering us for some time now. Going on a few years. Maybe we can help each other out and bring him to justice once and for all.
I would love to help, but how?
Well, let's see. I reckon you'll need to make some tools, get started mining diamonds, and get a heck of a lot stronger too. We'll do whatever we can to help you do that. This town's plenty big enough for more kind-hearted folks after all. You can set up on the edge of town.
Byron and I started to leave, but the mayor had one more thing to say.
You know, this village needs a sheriff. I reckon you might just be the man for the job.
On days 4 and 5, I went out and punched some trees so I could gather enough wood to build a crafting bench. Then, I crafted some wooden tools. Once I had those, I could start gathering some stone. Hey, this is going pretty well so far. Once I had enough stone, I upgraded my tools from wood to stone ones, including a stone sword. I was ready to start building our base.
Say, Zozo, if you're fixing to be the sheriff, let's say we build you a sheriff station with a jail inside.
That's a perfect idea, Byron. We can use it as an armory too. It'll be the perfect place to help keep the village safe from Gary and his gang of goons. Then, I had a brilliant idea. Byron, every sheriff needs a deputy. Do you want the job?
Well, shucks, Zozo. I'd be honored.
With Byron chosen as my deputy, we got to work building our base, a couple of jail cells, and 2 rooms for us to sleep in. The mayor stopped by to admire our progress.
This looks mighty fine, boys. Here, Zozo, this should help you get started.
The mayor handed me a strong potion. I drank it and felt myself grow a little bit bigger, and I gained 2 hearts. On days 6 through 8, I explored the desert around the village, looking for more materials. While I was walking around, I saw a roadrunner being attacked by a nest of rattlesnakes. Hey, you leave her alone! I rushed at them with my stone sword and began to fight. They turned their attention away from the roadrunner and started attacking me instead. It was a tough fight, but after a long while, I knocked down the last rattlesnake.
Oh, thank you kindly.
The roadrunner ran over to me.
My name is Rhonda, and you're my hero.
Just doing my duty, ma'am. What are you doing all the way out here?
I got lost in the desert. I was looking for help getting back to my nest. It's in a cave, you see, but it isn't safe for me to go alone. My eggs are in there. I need to get to them before something terrible happens.
Well, that sounds like a job for the local sheriff. On days 9 and 10, Rhonda and I made our way to the cave where her nest was.
I wanted my nest to be out of the sun, and this cave used to be safe. But when people started mining in there, it woke something up. Something terrible. This is it. Please be careful, Sheriff Zozo.
I'll do my best. I drew my sword and crept into the cave.
What are you doing in my cave?
A werewolf jumped out of the shadows and roared at me. This cave belongs to more than just you.
This cave ain't big enough for the both of us.
He swiped at me with his claws and knocked me back into the wall of the cave. I dropped my sword, and when I ran to pick it up, he hit me again. Uh-oh, this guy is way too strong.
Get out now, or I'll finish you off.
I'll have to come back and face him again when I'm stronger. I need to go help Rhonda. I ran out of the cave, where Rhonda was waiting. I'm sorry, he's too strong. But please, come back to town with me. You can stay at my sheriff's station until we can come back. I'll help you get your eggs back, I promise. On days 11 and 12, I returned to my base with Rhonda. I built her a room, including a crafting bench and a chest.
Thank you for the help, Zozo. It means the world to me.
Of course, I'm happy to help.
Now that we're safe, do you know anything about Gary the Guster?
Not too much, only that he's got a hankering for diamonds and power, and won't let anything stand in his way. He's hurt a lot of people, made himself a lot of enemies. If we all band together, maybe we can do something about him.
That's what I've been thinking too. Glad we're on the same team. After my chat with Rhonda, I went mining for some more materials. I found iron and coal too. I made a furnace and smelted the iron, then used it to craft some iron tools and boots. Best of all, I crafted an iron sword. Then, I built an armory where I could store all of my new tools. This base is coming together. We'll be able to take on Gary and his gang in no time. On days 13 to 15, I wanted to find a way to get stronger, so I talked to Byron the Bison for some advice.
Well, I reckon the best strength in the world is experience. You ought to go on a quest or two and get better at helping others out. Then you'll get stronger. Also, you'd best get yourself some armor for the job.
Thanks so much, Byron. I gathered silver and crafted myself some armor. Then I headed out to explore the forest. Now it's time to find a quest. But where is someone who I can help? I looked around, but couldn't see anyone that might have a quest for me. How was I supposed to get experience if no one needed me to do anything? Then, I saw a pumpkin boss shaking an apple tree. Hi there, do you need some help with the apples?
Hey, you're the sheriff trying to go up against Gary the Guster. Let me teach you a lesson.
He attacked me, but I was ready. I had my new armor to protect me. And I had my new sword, too. I dodged his attack and slashed at him, knocking him back. After a lot of tough back and forth, I was able to win. I did it! I did it! Then, I noticed he dropped something, a shed snakeskin. Hey, I bet I can use this to craft something. I took the snakeskin back to my base and crafted a vine lasso with it. Wow, I can use this to wrangle bad guys and bring them back to jail. On days 16 to 19, I decided to explore some more and see what I could find. I ended up coming across an abandoned mine and looked inside. There was a chest in there. I opened it and I found an old diary belonging to a miner that left it behind ages ago. Gary the Guster came through town again, telling us to give him diamonds. I heard a rumor that he's building a base not too far from here, but no one's been able to find it yet. I have my suspicions that it's out in the forest over yonder. Wow, so Gary's base must not be too far away. Maybe I can find it, but first, I'll have to get even stronger so I can defeat him. Before I could do anything else, I was attacked by a gang of Mandragora.
This is what happens when you go up against Gary the Guster.
But they were no match for my new armor and sword. Just like with the pumpkin boss before, I fought them hard and was able to defeat them. As a few of them ran away, I yelled after them. Tell Gary he won't be picking on people for much longer. On days 20 to 22, I traveled back to the village. When I got there, I saw some plague rats bothering some villagers. I fought them and took them out easily. Wow, I'm getting good at this. On the way back to the sheriff's station, I found some silver I could use to upgrade my gear and my armor. With that taken care of, I was feeling strong enough to go fight the werewolf and help Rhonda get back her nest.
You again? I thought I already taught you a lesson.
Well, I'm back, and I'm strong enough to fight you now. With my new armor and sword, I was able to hold my own against the werewolf. He knocked me back, but I didn't drop my sword, and I kept fighting. Then I pulled out my secret weapon, the vine lasso. I captured the werewolf in the lasso and started pulling him back to the jail. You're going to jail.
You ain't got what it takes to bring down Gary the Guster. He took out my whole gang, and I had to hide in those caves when he came to town. You go up against him, and you're toast.
On days 23 to 26, I threw the werewolf into one of the empty jail cells. Well, Rhonda, you can go back to the caves now. Your nest is safe, and your eggs are waiting for you.
Thank you so much, Zozo. I'll never forget what you did for me. And I'll be sure to come back and visit once my eggs have hatched.
I can't wait.
By the way, you should build a guard tower. It will help keep you safe here.
Rhonda was right. It would be a good idea to have a guard tower so we could keep a lookout. I started constructing one right away. When the guard tower was done, I realized I needed some ranged weapons. So, I crafted some javelins too. I can really defend this place now. On days 27 to 31, I decided to travel to a snowy area to see if I could find some more snow golems like me. If I could, maybe they could help protect the village and take down Gary. I was enjoying the cold and looking around for some other snow golems when I saw some snow beasts. They looked lost, so I sent them back to my base, and they went off to find it. Next, I decided to gather some ice to take back to my base. If I had it there, I wouldn't feel so homesick as the only snow golem in the desert. Even if I didn't find any snow golems, it would make me feel much better. When I got back to the village, Mayor Earth Golem came up to me.
Sheriff Zozo, we need your help. Gary's gang came through town and kidnapped some of our villagers.
Oh no, of course I'll help.
And I'll come with you. What kind of mayor would I be if I didn't look out for my own people?
On days 32 to 35, the mayor and I went into the forest to find the kidnapped villagers and save them from Gary's gang. We spotted the horde of zombies and a bunch of villagers in cages. The zombies were laughing at them. "Don't worry, everyone. You're safe now. We're coming to save you." I rushed at them with my sword drawn. The mayor followed me and tried to help fight too. One of the zombies knocked him down. "Get away from him!" I tried to stop them from hurting him, but the zombies destroyed the mayor. No! I swore I'd have revenge. In honor of the fallen mayor, I defeated the rest of the zombies and freed the villagers. But now the town is without a mayor. We need someone to lead the villagers. On days 36 to 39, I set off in search of a new mayor for the village. We need someone tough to help protect the villagers from Gary. I know, I'll go into the mountains. Only tough people can survive up there, so I went to the mountains and looked around. Is there anyone here who can be a mayor?
Are you looking for help?
I looked and saw Zeus, the king of Olympus, standing on top of a mountain. Yes, I am.
Well, I need help with something. If you can help me, I can be the mayor in return.
What is it?
A group of gremlins stole my treasured guitar. Jamming on that guitar was the only way to pass the time up here on this boring old mountain. Please, get it back for me.
It was a small price to pay to find a new, powerful mayor. I found the gremlins nearby, smashing the guitar into some rocks. Hey, that's not what rock music means. I fought off the gremlins and got the guitar back. Here you go, Zeus. Or should I say, Mayor Zeus.
Thank you. I'd be happy to be the mayor if the villagers are all as kind as you.
They are. We're trying to defeat Gary the Guster.
Ah, Gary. He's asking for diamonds, I bet. Well, I can tell you where a very good diamond mine is, if you want.
Yes, please. So Zeus gave me directions to the diamond mine. Things were really starting to come together. One way or another, I'd keep the village safe. On days 40 to 43, I returned home to the village and dropped off Mayor Zeus at his new house. Back at the sheriff's station, I decided to spiff up the place. I added torches and bookshelves for extra light and to give me and Deputy Byron something to read on our downtime. Once I was done, I checked in with Byron to see what he thought.
Say, this looks great, Sheriff. But with so much new danger, we need more deputies. Let's make a deputies wanted sign.
Great idea! I added a sign outside the station. New deputies wanted. And pretty soon, villagers started showing up to apply for the job. 6 new deputies joined. I built a barracks onto the base with bunk beds, so they would all have a place to sleep. Gary the Guster won't know what hit him when we take him on. One of the snow beasts came to find me while I was working.
We heard a rumor about an ice cave where another snow golem is living. You should check it out and see if he can help us.
Wow, thank you! Another snow golem. It almost sounded too good to be true.
On days 44 to 49, I journeyed to the ice cave to search for the other snow golem. When I got there, I couldn't see anyone at first, but then I saw a shadow in the cave. Hello? I walked toward the opening of the cave, but Gary the Guster appeared.
Yeehaw! I knew you'd fall for my trap. I hear you've been rustling up a team to try and beat me. Well, I can't have that.
You're such a bully, making people get diamonds for you. Why do you even need so many anyway?
You sure do ask a lot of questions, Sheriff. I'll have you know it's my dream to live in a mansion made out of nothing but diamonds. I don't care how many towns I have to destroy to get them, neither.
That's terrible.
Never said I was nice. Now I gotta mosey on back to my diamonds, but I'm not letting you go that easy. Alpha Coyote, get him.
Gary whooshed away, and in his place, there was an Alpha Coyote. He was pretty big and strong too, but I knew I could take him. I drew my sword and got ready for a fight. On days 50 to 53, I fought hard against the Alpha Coyote.
You might as well give up now. I'm so much bigger than you.
You may be big, but I'm brave and strong, and I have the support of my friends to keep me from giving up. With a decisive strike from my sword, I defeated the Alpha Coyote. I did it! I won! Well, I won this battle. There's more to come. Hey, wait, what's this? I looked on the ground where the Alpha Coyote fell at the end of our fight. There was a journal. Hey, this says property of Gary the Guster inside. It must belong to him.
Dear Diary, I built the best dang hideout this Wild West has ever seen. It's so sparkly, made up of all those diamonds I took from the villagers. And no one will find me here between the 2 tallest mountains in the region. They'll never get rid of Gary the Guster and his gang of goons.
Hey, I know where those mountains are. When the time comes, I'll be able to find Gary's base after all. On days 54 to 57, I ventured deeper into the ice caverns. I wasn't going to give up my search for another snow golem now. I had to keep looking and see if there was really someone here, or if it was all just one of Gary's traps. In the distance, I could see the light of a fire. There was someone here. As I got closer, I could see that some of the zombies from the Guster gang of goons were gathered around the fire, and they had a snow golem with them. Oh no, I have to help him escape. I stayed back and out of sight and threw one of my javelins at the zombies. I had the element of surprise, and they scattered when it hit. Take that, you undead outlaws!
Hey, where'd you come from? This is our hideout and you're trespassing.
No, you're the ones who are trespassing. Instead of getting into an argument with them, I decided to get right to the fighting instead. I rushed in with my sword and fought them with everything I had.
Quick, let's get out of here.
The zombies ran out of the caverns, leaving me with the snow golem. I'll get you out of here.
Not so fast.
I turned around and there was an axe sticks.
You're not taking this prisoner without a fight, unless you've got those 100 diamonds for Gary.
You'll never get those diamonds from me. I took axe sticks down and let the snow golem free.
Hey, look!
Oh, it's a power potion. I drank it and grew bigger, and I gained 2 more hearts. Wow, that's amazing!
Thank you so much for letting me go. Gary has been taking out all of the golems, so there will be no one left to protect the villagers. I was so scared that I was the only one left.
Well, now you know you're not alone. Come back to my base with me. We've got a whole bunch of people to help. Gary won't get away with it this time. On days 58 to 62, I worked on improving things at the base. The sheriff's station was pretty great, but it could still get even better. The villagers had all the food we could need, but we needed to make way more tools and weapons. I expanded the crafting area and the armory, so we'd have lots of space for more equipment. Then I headed off to the area Zeus told me about, where I could find lots of diamonds. I went down into the mine there, and sure enough, there they were! I used my iron pickaxe to mine the diamonds, and took them back to the base. I used all those diamonds to make diamond armor, a pickaxe, and a sword. Next, I thought about how I might need to gather extra food while traveling to new places. A fishing rod could help me catch fish on the go, so I crafted a fishing rod to help me, in case I ever needed it. On days 63 to 66, Mayor Zeus came to visit me at the sheriff's station. What can I do for you, Mayor?
Did you get a chance to check out the diamond cave I told you about?
I did, thank you. There were lots of diamonds there. I used them to upgrade my gear though.
That's okay. I thought you might need to do that. I wanted to tell you that I heard about another cave with lots of diamonds to mine.
Really? Thank you. That's great news.
Happy to help. I'll keep an ear out for more diamond news too.
I really missed my old friend Mayor Earth Golem, but Zeus was doing his legacy proud and seemed to really care about the village. I set off to the new cave to mine for more diamonds. Inside, I saw a group of little Kados. I could hear them whispering to each other.
I'm telling you, the boss is out there somewhere.
Boss? Are they talking about Gary the Guster?
He's a werewolf. He's tough.
Not as tough as Gary. There's no way he survived that attack. We're doomed. We'll be next.
Wait, these must be members of the werewolf's old gang. I wonder if they'll try to fight me.
Hey, are you the sheriff?
Why do you want to know?
We hear you're trying to fight Gary the Guster, and we want to help.
Really? That would be great.
Yes. If you can help us rescue more of our old gang, we promise to all help you out. They're in an underground base deep in these caves.
You got it. Go back to my base at the sheriff's station, and I'll come meet you when I've rescued your buddies. Also, your old leader is there in jail. Sorry about that. On days 67 to 70, I traveled deeper into the caves in search of the underground base. If I could find more of the werewolf's gang, that would be even more deputies to fight with me. Look at me, turning outlaws into good guys. Mayor Earth Golem would be so proud of what a great sheriff I'm becoming. Before I could celebrate my progress anymore though, I spotted a Nightwalker mage holding another group of little Kados prisoner. Those must be the rest of the gang they were talking about. How can I get them out of here? He looks pretty dangerous. I don't know if I can fight him and make it out. I started looking around for a way to sneak by the Nightwalker mage, but I couldn't find anything. I guess I'll have to be brave and try to fight him, even though I'm scared. I thought about my friends and how they'd all faced so much danger with me so far. If they could do it, so could I. I attacked the Nightwalker mage and he flew into the air to dodge my attack. This looks like a job for my vine lasso. I tossed it at the Nightwalker mage and caught him. I pulled him back down to the ground, and while he was trapped, I attacked him with my sword. He broke free, but not before I got a good hit in. The Nightwalker mage teleported behind me, but I spun around and got him again. It was a pretty intense battle, but eventually I was able to win with the help of my vine lasso and my shiny new diamond sword.
Thank you, stranger.
I'm no stranger, I'm the sheriff.
Oh no, are we under arrest?
No, I'm here to save you. Go back to my base at the sheriff's station. Your friends will be there, and you'll see that everything is going to be okay. On days 71 to 74, I traveled to a river to try out some fishing. I hadn't done it before, and I wanted to get good at it in case I needed to catch a fish in a hurry. As I was walking along the river, I saw a strange message on the ground. If you're enjoying this adventure, find more Zozo videos by searching for ZO. And don't forget to like and subscribe. That's pretty weird. Anyway, back to fishing. I caught a few fish, and I was feeling pretty good about myself. But then, Gary the Guster showed up.
Sheriff fishing on the job, eh? Should be out there mining for my diamonds if you want that village of yours to survive.
Why can't you just leave us alone?
I will, once you give me what I want.
That's not fair.
Life ain't fair.
We rushed at each other, and I pulled out my sword and my vine lasso.
You think you can lasso me like cattle? I'm no cowboy.
I tried my best, but it wasn't enough to defeat him. I didn't want to run, but I needed to stay alive to get stronger and to help my friends. So I turned and I ran all the way back to my base. Next time, I'll be ready. On days 75 to 78, I got to work on my base again. Now that I know how strong Gary is, after trying to fight him again, I know we need to make the base even better. Byron had a great idea for how to improve it.
What if we build an underground bunker? Somewhere we can hide out if we need to, if he comes to attack us before we're ready.
Perfect! I got to work building the bunker, and before long, we had a great big underground hideout to go to if Gary attacked before I was strong enough to beat him. After I was done, some of the little Katos from the werewolf's gang came up to me with a book.
It's the magic book to help you get bigger and stronger.
Wow, thank you! I tried some of the magic from the book, and sure enough, I grew bigger and gained more hearts. What an amazing gift! They really are good guys after all. On days 79 to 84, I decided to test my new strength on some mobs. I went out into the desert with my sword and my lasso and found some skeletons to fight. Taste the lasso, boneheads! I rounded them up and took them all out. After I defeated the last of the skeletons, a desert lord came up to me. Is he going to try and fight me too? But to my surprise, he gave me a gift instead.
Thank you for getting rid of the skeletons. They've been making so much trouble here. As the lord of this desert, I present you with this sharpness enchantment, which will increase the power of your sword.
Awesome! So now I'm stronger, and my sword is stronger too. This is great! On days 85 to 89, I came back to the base, only to find it under attack by an army of zombies. Of course, this has got to be the work of Gary the Guster. There were so many of them, it would be dangerous to get close. Thankfully, I had some of the javelins I made earlier. You're about to find out why you don't mess with the sheriff, zombies. I threw javelin after javelin until I had the zombie gang on the run. With the help of the rest of my deputies, we were able to run the undead outlaws out of town. But it wasn't just my base they were interfering with. The zombies were causing trouble all over town while I was gone. One of the villagers ran over to me and told me that while the zombies were ransacking the town, they took one of his chickens. Don't worry, villager, I'll have that chicken back to you safe and sound. I chased the remaining zombies out into the woods, and I saw the chicken running along with them. That must be the villager's chicken. But the zombies had such a head start now. I didn't know if I could catch up to them in time. Wait, the javelins can come in handy here too. With a few well-placed throws, those zombies were done for, and the chicken was free. Come on, little chicken, let's get you back to your owner. I brought the chicken back to his owner, who was so happy to see him. The villager thanked me for getting his chicken back, and felt terrible that he didn't have anything to give me as a reward. Don't worry about it. The only reward I need is knowing I did a job well done. On days 90 to 94, I followed the trail of zombie footprints and destruction until I finally found a cave with a sign out front. Get out of these parts or face the wrath of the Guster Gang. This has gotta be it, their secret hideout. I better check it out. I snuck into the cave and saw that it was empty, except for one strange figure standing there, like he was waiting for me. Who are you?
I'm the Soul Leader, and I'm here to make sure you don't mess with the boss's plans no more.
Why would you work for him? What he's doing is wrong. He's hurting so many people, all because he's greedy.
Nothing wrong with a little greed. It's a dog-eat-dog world, Sheriff. We're all just trying to get fed.
But isn't it better to be nice, to help others, and know that they'll help you in return?
What kind of sucker helps people? That ain't this kind of town.
But it could be.
Enough chatter. Turn and draw your weapon, Sheriff.
I drew my sword and my vine lasso, ready for a fight. After all of my recent experience, I was feeling pretty good about it. But when the Soul Eater rushed at me, I knew I was wrong. This wasn't an ordinary fight. He was incredibly fast and strong. Definitely the toughest fighter of the Guster Gang I had met so far. I didn't have much time, I had to think fast. I ran backwards away from him and pulled out a javelin. Let's finish this! On days 95 and 97, I continued battling the Soul Eater in the Guster Gang's secret cave hideout. It was pretty close, but putting some space between us and throwing a javelin helped me to do some crucial extra damage and get the advantage I needed. While the Soul Eater was recovering, I tied him up in my lasso and rushed him with my sword.
Oh, this can't happen. You're weak.
I'm strong now. With the Soul Eater beaten and not going anywhere, I decided to look around the hideout for anything I could use. Hey, a battle axe! Awesome! You're coming with me. I turned back to the Soul Eater. And so are you. Let's get you back to the jail and you can start talking. I took the Soul Eater back to the sheriff's station and put him in the other cell there. Tell me what you know about Gary the Guster.
Fine. I can draw you a map to the diamond castle he's building. Is that what you want?
Yeah, that would be great.
Then you'll let me go?
Only if you promise to try being a good guy.
If it gets me out of here, then sure. Here, Sheriff. No tricks. It's real.
Now I knew exactly where to go to get Gary once and for all. On day 98, after I got the map from the Soul Eater, I decided to walk around my base and check in on everything. All my new deputies were doing great, settling into their duties. As I was seeing what the deputies were doing, I heard someone come to the door. It was Rhonda, and she had a bunch of baby roadrunners with her.
Children, this here is Sheriff Zozo. He helped me get back to you when you were still eggs in the nest. I owe him a lot of thanks.
Oh, Rhonda, I'm so glad you and your babies are doing well.
You're a hero, Sheriff Zozo. Never forget that.
Next, Byron came to talk to me.
Sheriff, it's been an honor to be your deputy. Thank you for giving this old bison a chance to help save my village. Take this potion of strength as a token of my appreciation.
Thank you so much, Deputy Byron. Mayor Zeus stopped by to see me next.
I never thought I'd be a mayor, but you believed in me. I believe in you too, Zozo. Don't forget, fellows like Gary are driven by greed and nothing else. Friendship and goodness are so much stronger, and they'll win in the end, every time. Remember that.
It seemed like everyone believed in me, and with amazing friends like these in my corner, Gary wouldn't stand a chance. On day 99, I followed the map I got from the Soul Eater. It was now or never, with only one more day left before Gary would come to collect his ransom. There was no way I was going to let him destroy the village. As I was walking there, a pigeon flew by overhead.
You can do it, Zozo!
Thank you, pigeon. I reached a massive castle made of diamonds, surrounded by zombies and skeletons. He has this many diamonds already, and he wants even more? This guy's the worst. There were so many enemies outside, I wasn't sure if I could take them all on by myself. But then, my trusty Deputy Byron the Bison showed up.
Didn't think I'd let you do this without your first deputy, your right-hand man, did you?
Day 100, Byron and I fought our way through the zombies and skeletons and headed into the Diamond Castle. There were so many of them, it was a miracle we got through. How can this guy afford to pay all these goons and build a Diamond Castle?
We've got to keep fighting, Zozo. We're almost there.
You're right, Byron. We can do this. Inside, Gary the Guster was sitting on top of a diamond throne.
Well, well, well. Look what the cat dragged in.
We're here to end this, Gary. Your reign of terror is over.
Well, ain't that a hoot? Listen, little sheriff, you can't fight the wind. I'm a force of nature, and I ain't going nowhere.
Too bad. We're here to shut you down. I pulled out my trusty vine lasso and got ready to wrangle Gary. But before I could, he threw sand in my eyes and I dropped it. I couldn't see what I was doing.
I'll be your eyes, Zozo. Dodge to the left. He's gonna attack.
I listened to Byron and dodged. It helped me avoid Gary's hit.
Hey, that's cheating.
Blinding people before a fight is cheating, Gary. And Gary didn't let up. I could feel the force of his mighty winds trying to blow me away. But Byron was still there to help.
Rush at him with your sword. Straight forward.
You can't do this dance forever, cowboy.
I don't have to.
What in tarnation?
I rushed at Gary with my sword, and Byron ran at him too. Together, we dealt one huge blow, and Gary dissolved. He was gone. Is it really over?
It's really over. Let's say you and I get back to the town and rustle up some celebratory grub.
That sounds good to me.
You make a darn good sheriff, Zozo.
And thanks to us, Gary the Guster and the Guster Gang would never hassle another town again.